That's the week one montage as 9 to noon returns from abroad and returns from a weekend that has now just one lone undefeated football team in the state of Wisconsin. And if you had it as your Wisconsin Badgers headed into Alabama week, congratulations, you're a winner. I'm Billy Schmidt. Armin Sarian's right there. And John Kuhn has returned from the Southern Hemisphere and returned on a glorious birthday edition of 9 to noon for the fullback, John Kuhn. Happy birthday, John. Welcome back.
Indeed.
I wish history didn't repeat itself onto your birthday where Saquon Barkley turns into Reggie Bush, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, all of them reincarnated for a hat trick. And then the Packers lose their starting quarterback on the final play in an international game. What the hell? What a beautiful night in Brazil that ends with got to be the longest 10-hour flight of all time.
Yeah.
For you guys to return here from Sao Paulo.
Yeah, actually, the flight wasn't too bad. I told you
I'm
that
glad.
plane. It's a damn nice plane. It's a pretty good.
Oh
plane.
yeah,
The 777. Anybody gets a chance to ride a 777, hop on that thing because it's not that bad of a plane, especially after a loss. I've been on worse planes and plane rides after a loss. It was a long one, but here's the deal. Scary situation at the end of the game. Why every time the Packers play an international game do they lose their quarterback to an injury on the last play of the game? I guess they didn't lose Aaron Rodgers, but he had the broken thumb.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to know that
Lost
information.
most of his effectiveness.
We didn't know he had a broken thumb until Big B, some kid named Big B, breaks it on Twitter.
Big B
nearly
was the
2
man.
months later.
Yeah.
But Aaron Rodgers on a Hail Mary breaks his thumb. Jordan Love on a attempted Hail Mary sprains an MCL. Hopefully that's the extent of it. And I'm just going to say it like that. It sounds like it. It's being reported that it's just a grade 1 to a grade 2 MCL. And if that is indeed all that we're dealing with here, we're looking at 3 to 6 weeks, and they believe he could be sooner than that. 3-4 weeks. Can they steady the ship? We went 8 weeks without Aaron Rodgers in 2013, right? And that's hard. It's very hard to go without your starting quarterback. But this is why they brought in Malik Willis. This is why they beat the streets. This is why they went in this direction. Now, it's a shame, too, because let's say he gets off that Hail Mary pass, it gets batted down, and you lose by 5. I think there's a lot of things you can take away from this ballgame. That Philadelphia Eagle team is a very, very formidable team in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
That team potentially, that team has all the makings to be right there at the end with the 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, their talent
with the Lions
is crazy.
with the Cowboys. And with what we saw as the former Green Bay Packers, right, before Jordan Love got hurt. So that's a good team. And you went toe-to-toe with them. And you missed opportunities. You missed a field goal. You missed a 2-point conversion. You dropped 2 interceptions right in your hands.
Mm-hmm.
And yet you were still right there with them. I think what we saw on Friday night was week 1 football. And let me tell you, that week 1 football that we saw in Brazil, not near as bad as what I saw yesterday on Sunday. Boy, there was some rough stuff going on out there. And this is why the football is great. It can be bad football, but incredible entertainment. It can be not executing, but incredible watching. And that's what we see in week 1 now, because the preseason is what it is. And we saw some MAs, and we saw some missed tackles, and we saw some penalties down there in Brazil. And that's why the Green Bay Packers lost this football game, because they weren't disciplined enough. They didn't have it all together here in week 1 of the season against a very good opponent who also didn't have it all completely together.
Yeah, definitely wasn't the Eagles' greatest game either. However, they made the biggest plays, and they had the player who had the biggest game in Saquon Barkley with his 3 scores. And John, I'm with you. I think the Eagles could very much be the team that represents the NFC, and being able to watch how they bounced back after losing 2 Hall of Famers in Fletcher Cox and Jason Kelce. Cam Jurgens looked all right, seemed okay in the middle. And the middle of their defense looks really, really good, as you thought it would, with Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. That being said, Packers had so many opportunities to win the game that it felt eerily similar to the script in Santa Clara for the first couple of quarters, where opportunities to stretch the lead, opportunities to get over the hump. 26-24 interception, as Armin tried to reference, that Jordan Love throws. A tough pick. It looks like, maybe he thought Musgrave was going to flatten out underneath the one high safety. There's a lot there, but they had chances. However, nobody wanted to talk about that on Packers OT. It was just, how is Jordan? Is he going to be okay? is our season cooked? And I struggle to go there week one, John, I understand. And we talk about it and we hyper emphasize it because it's true. It's the most important position in all of professional sports. But if you think your team and you think the outfit and you think the organization and the coaching staff is that good, keep some confidence that you should at least be able to keep yourself head above water until quarterback comes back in 3, 4, 6 weeks.
We're going to get into this in a minute. I think we should get in, continue with the game. We're going to get into this because the season's not cooked, but it's the oven is on. The oven is on and it's preheating right now because there is a scary situation that we're staring right in the face after the first game of the season, right? You can't go over. Right, in Jordan Love's absence. So you have to find a way to win a game or half the games that this backup quarterback, whoever it might be, gets in there and plays for you. You cannot go over. You can't sit there and be 0 for 5. I think only one team in NFL history has only made the playoffs starting 0-5. Armin, were you able to find that one?
I didn't find it. I don't think anyone has, but I don't think I didn't. What were the
1-4? 1-4. There's a couple teams that have done it, and let's just assume Jordan Love misses. Now we're going to just get it. Let's just get into it. Let's just do it now.
All right,
let's do it.
It's really all that anybody wanted to talk about, John. I mean, like if I come on here for an hour and 45 minutes after the post-game show, nobody wanted to talk about Josh Jacobs' debut. Xavier McKinney gets an interception in his first game as a Green Bay Packer. Not one word. Jeff Hafley gives up 34. In his debut as Packers defensive coordinator, not one concern. It's all of, well, and Michael Pratt, Sean Clifford would have been better. We wouldn't be in such a bad situation when Jordan Love goes
this
down.
Is still a team game, right?
It's crazy.
It's still a team game.
Well, you just brought up some fantastic things to chat about on Jeff Hafley's 34 points. I did see improvement with the defense. 34 points in improvement on the defense, believe it or not. I did see that. It might be hard to believe for some people, but I did. It was out there, and it came in the form of turnovers. All right, we created turnovers. Think about this: we had 2 interceptions in this game. We had 7 last year. 7.
That's really bad.
If there's, for the most part, the Green Bay Packers beat themselves on Friday night. For the most part, the one place the Eagles did beat the Packers and beat them soundly was up front, both on the offensive and defensive lines.
I agree with that.
Both sides. Did the Packers get there? Yeah, they got a couple blows in, but for the majority of the game up front, the scorecard was a 10-9 round or a 10-8 round even. I mean, that's where they got beat up front. That's where Philly took the game. In other places, the Packers gave it up, right?
Wouldn't you also say AJ Brown, yeah.
He's a spectacular player.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley, he's a spectacular player. But it was up front. That's the only place the Packers truly lost this ball game was up front, offensive and defensive lines. The other places, they made some undisciplined mistakes, some missed tackles,
too many penalties. Too many penalties.
That's the Packers really hurt themselves on that end. But the Eagles did win the football game up front.
Okay, so Stan Humphries led the 1992 Chargers to the playoffs after going 0-4. No team has ever made the playoffs after starting 0-5. Okay. Humphries' 92 Chargers team is also the only one to win a playoff game after starting 0-3 since 1979.
But we are in a 17-game schedule now, so, I mean, it is sort of uncharted territory with the extra game. Yes, it's still unlikely to do it, but there is an extra game now for that.
14 teams have made the playoffs after starting a season 1-4. However, none have reached the Super Bowl. Most recently, in that ilk, the 2015 Seahawks did it. As the computer refreshes, also the 2020 Washington football team started 1-4 and then went on to win the NFC East with a record of 7-9. So it can happen. It is rare. You need a lot of people to be complicit.
Yes.
Now, last night you saw the Detroit Lions maybe far from the world-beating situation for a second half when the Rams were able to be feasted upon. Then Matthew Stafford was just like, I am not losing this game in this stadium to these guys in front of these fans. And then he still ended up losing the game in a wildly entertaining game.
Good. That was a great game.
That
was a fantastic game. How about this week 1, Billy? You mentioned it. Thursday's game, spectacular. Friday's game, spectacular, minus the result for us. And then Sunday night, and man, we got We got a dessert on the table coming up tonight. I mean,
Oh yeah.
who's not ready for this one? Yeah, great week 1 in the NFL.
Well, and there are plenty of games too. I mean, like the team that's coming in here, and one of the reasons why, as 3.5-point road favorites, the Indianapolis Colts have every reason to be confident coming in here. They went toe-to-toe with Houston yesterday, and many people, that's their trendy AFC team to either make it to the AFC Championship game, and take another step after going to the divisional round last year. Like, there was some good football around the league. And maybe that's why, maybe that's where, as it just sits off to the side, you continue to know, okay, we're going to have to figure out how to win at least one game. We're going to have to figure out how to close the gap. I watched the Tennessee Titans, who you're going to play in week 3, John, yesterday, blow a 17-point lead.
Yeah. Oh,
Throw one of, if not the single worst pick 6 of all time
terrible.
by Will Levis.
That or the
Watch
butt
Jonathan Owens
Which
scoop up a punt for a touchdown. Caleb Williams throw like 94 yards in his debut as the number 1 overall pick. And the son of a gun is the first number 1 overall pick since David Carr beat the Cowboys to win his debut.
They
Yeah,
the
it
first
happens.
time they won a game.
And you can't tell me we
Under
can't win
150
one
yards.
game with Malik Willis.
No,
You
I'm not
gotta
saying-
have some
I'm
confidence.
with you,
listen,
Billy.
listen, Armin will tell you we can. Armin will tell you keep the hope.
You
Come
had-
on.
Hold on
Gotta
to
have
everything
some
that you
hope.
have.
It's week
Everything is
one.
right
Gotta
there
have
in
some
front of
hope.
you. It can happen. It can believe. You got to believe, baby.
You
I
got
will
to.
tell
This
you,
is a weird league, John.
Hey, it can happen.
It
I'm
can.
sitting here with it can happen. I'm just warning you. I am just warning you of the dangerous waters that the Packers are in right now, because it's not. We can't. I acknowledge
know
that
these
we
are bad
can.
waters.
I acknowledge that we can win. Armin, my thing is we have to win. You can't go.
Gotta win
over
one.
what- You
Gotta win
have
one.
to.
I understand.
Gotta
You
win
got to
one.
get it done.
So what do? Do you take Malik Willis out there, who's been here for 10 days, and start him in a game? Do you reinvent your offense based off of his set of skills? Do you all of a sudden start running some version of the read option just to create some offense? Because you cannot tell me after 10 days, I don't care how great Tom Clemens is, I don't care how great Matt LaFleur is, and I don't care how great Malik Willis is, 10 days to be able to get the offense right. Like we weren't expecting him to jump in this early. We were hoping, if Jordan Love sprains an ankle or now an MCL,
Yeah,
it
would've
would be
liked to do week 6.
mid-season,
Yeah.
right? So we would have at least a month under our belt. 10 days. So now we are looking at, do we start Malik Willis? Do we start Sean Clifford? Or do you go outside the organization to bring somebody? That's where you're at right now, because
Okay.
Malik Willis has only had 10 days.
Ye-
Sean Clifford, well, he's Sean Clifford. And
There we go.
So I'm just saying. Listen, I love him. I love Sean Clifford. And you know what? Maybe he's got a little bit of that Matt Flynn in him. It doesn't
Man.
always look the cleanest, but he's
Yeah.
got that grit and that dirt, and he'll make it happen. But
Not that guy, pal.
you tell me where. Okay, so I acknowledge it can, Armin.
Yeah.
Yes.
You tell me which side feels like the scale is tipped a little bit more in your favor.
Well, I don't know what side is in terms of quarterbacks. I think the
Willis
coaches
or Clifford, which one you want?
I
Fan
think
the Flames.
I think Willis can.
Or Tannehill?
They
Fan the
have.
Flames.
I think. Well, if Tannehill's an option, slightly better option.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
But
you'll take
slightly.
Tannehill.
I'm
Okay.
not one of these guys.
No,
that
I'm
thinks
glad. I'm glad you give us
Tannehill's
that.
out
But
there
isn't
as a
slightly?
savior.
But isn't slightly better?
Sure,
Like, if
of
it's-
course. If I can push an edge 5 to 10% better, Tannehill would be, but he's not part. A lot goes into that. You have to sign him, you have to do all these things. And I don't know, John, because he'd have 4 days to get ready or 5 days to get ready, right? What's Monday?
But remember, wasn't Tannehill Matt LaFleur's quarterback down there?
I didn't
In
think about that.
2018,
I'm
no,
not
I believe
sure.
that was Marcus Mariota.
Oh, it was okay. Yeah,
call him.
I was hoping. I was crossing my fingers, keeping out hope that potentially it was.
I just think
But-
you have to figure out which one of these guys can we come up with a game plan with that's most likely to succeed in the short term, that can give our team, the team around us, we do have other players with
Do we
talent,
just go out there and
a
run the
chance to
Wildcat?
win.
Do we just run the Wildcat?
You fan the Flames. Fan the Flames. Fan the Flames of Liberty, and let Malik Willis rejuvenate his NFL career with the coaching of Tom Clemens, Matt LaFleur. And hey, Brian Gutekunst said, John, he's doing some stuff from the pocket that we were very, very excited about. So the stuff from in the pocket, very excited about. Way better than what we saw earlier. So that's what we're going with. I'm struggling to, and Ryan Tannehill, 36 years old, as he comes in, inside or off. I'm excited to hear Matt Schneidman's take on the inside or off.
We got to hear about this. Yes.
Because Diana Rossini says, hey, no deal done yet. Packers have reached out to Ryan Tannehill, checking a gut reaction. Then Tom Pelissero, the arrow's like, no chance. Not talking to Ryan Tannehill quite yet. Marcus Mariota and Blaine Gabbert, those two teams, quarterbacks in 18 that played for the Titans. Tannehill comes in 2019, relieves Marcus Mariota after they bench him midseason. They go on a very good run into the conference championship game, beating Kansas City in the conference championship game on the road on the backs of Derrick Henry.
Before Patrick Mahomes goes off on him.
And just into the phone booth, ripped it off. Yeah.
He did. Remember the spin move down the sideline? God, that was ridiculous.
Break 7 tackles, scored a
if
touchdown.
we knew then what we know now about Patrick Mahomes,
It'd
we
make a
would
lot
have
more
expected. Instead, we were watching. We're like,
Right.
what
That's
is
a
this
good point.
kid doing out here?
Yeah, it would have made a lot more sense.
Well,
And
maybe Malik Willis is that next guy. I'm just saying, you never know in this league. I know I was in jest.
that
You
felt
never-
disrespectful to Malik Willis and
No,
his family.
you never
It did.
know in this league what you will
Sarcasm
find.
is not a nice.
Come on.
thing.
You never know what you're going to find in this league.
Sarcasm does not look
Come on,
good.
third round pick.
You don't wear that. Very
I'm
well.
not going to sit. Enough of this Eeyore
A
stuff.
beard looks
I'm not
better
gonna
on you
sit-
than sarcasm.
Actually, beards look great on me. I just don't wear them.
Yeah, he does look good
I'm
on
not
a
going to
beard.
sit here
But
and
you
just.
wear sarcasm for some
Yes, I do. I'm not going to sit here and be like, we can't win. The season's over. I just can't stand this talk. Like, Malik Willis, if you're the guy, you are the colonel. You're going to command your troops. Let's go. This is what we could do. This is our game plan. Hey, we move on now. We're trying to win games. This is the National Football League. Didn't Jacoby Brissett win a game yesterday?
Jacoby Brissett did win a game yesterday.
Okay.
On the road.
Nobody gave them a chance at Cincinnati. Nobody. Jacoby Brissett
Yeah,
found a
who
way to
did?
win. Nobody. I heard
Who?
nobody. I didn't hear one person say, I think the Patriots can win this weekend. Nobody. I didn't hear anybody.
Stop it. You
Who?
just got done telling me. Anything can happen.
Right. That doesn't mean I expect it to happen, John, really, but it does happen. And we're proving week in and week out that things we don't expect to happen. We think we know this game. Fine. We think we can't win a game without it. Fine. Guess what? I think the Packers still have a chance. They need other guys to play better. The defense has to play better, and it has to be.
Gotta
the leaders.
get some
Everybody's-
pressure.
Everybody's acknowledging that the Packers have a chance. Nobody's saying they don't have a chance.
I get a lot of
We're
people.
saying-
I got a lot of people in my mention saying the season's over, John. They don't
Tim
think we
and the
have a
Shaw.
chance.
Oh,
If you
Billy,
go
get the
0-5
heck out of here with that. Please.
Yes.
if you go
lose-
0-5,
yes.
the season is
Yes,
over.
John,
And that's why people are
I'm
saying it,
saying-
Armin, because we could go 0-5 just as fast as we can win a game.
I agree.
That's
it could
what,
happen.
because the backup quarterback who has been here for 10 days is now the starter. That's what people are saying.
I agree. It's not an ideal situation. It's the least ideal situation. But the idea is that, well, we were automatically going to go 0-4 now in the next 4 games. That I don't operate that way, and I don't think this league is that way. So let's get a game plan together and go get ready to battle. I'm sorry, 2 pretty mid teams that I can tell. No, I shouldn't say that about the Colts. The Colts look pretty good against the Texans. They probably should have won that game. But I think it's a winnable game. I really do. I know the Titans are. I just saw Will Levis just completely puke all over himself in the second half. Cost me of a tweet that was going to go.
Yeah,
It was a great
that was going to
tweet.
go viral. Yeah.
Cost me a money line bet. I had everything going on, and
Yeah.
the Titans couldn't hold a lead against those guys. I mean, you know,
Against
what I'm
that
saying?
Chicago Bear team.
Yes,
oh my
John,
God.
yes.
Bears fans are about to be in shambles this morning. Shambles.
I agree, John. It's a terrible situation.
That was going to be fun.
And we're in these deep waters right now. But
Packers are also.
got to find a way to swim out of them. That's all I'm saying.
Got to find a way to swim out of the cellar. Packers are currently the 4th team in the NFC North because the Detroit Lions beat the LA Rams on Sunday Night Football. We've mentioned it a couple of times. Somehow the Chicago Bears, with the most Bears win of all time, beat the Tennessee Titans yesterday. And, guy Sam Darnold stinks, huh? Minnesota Vikings. Sam Darnold was 15 of 16 in the first half.
He was
Just
really
wondering
good.
if anybody was wondering that.
Mea culpa. I give him
If anyone was
credit.
wondering that.
Give the Vikings
It was
credit.
the Giants. Hold on.
Your-
It was the New York Football
Yes,
Giants.
your boy McConnell had him ready though,
Oh,
right?
Kevin
That's
O'Connell
your
was in
guy.
his bag.
Okay.
Kevin O'Connell was in his bag.
And Pat from the Pier's right. I'm sorry, not who was it? Yes, Pat from the Pier. Desmond Ridder beat us last year. Anyone can win a game in this league. All right,
Desmond Ridder drafted just before Malik Willis.
just before.
just before Malik Willis. So shows the kind of caliber of quarterback, elite level quarterback play, maybe coming to Lambeau Field coming up on Sunday. But John said it. He threw in Malik Willis, threw in Sean Clifford. Now we've thrown in Ryan Tannehill, somebody else. How much better are the Packers if it's somebody else? Because I've seen a couple of people say it's got to be Sean Clifford. He knows the offense. We'll debate that part of it as well as all the other parts. The cornucopia of Packers football that was Friday night a 34-29 loss against the Philadelphia Eagles. Nobody slept worse, even though Jordan had that sprained MCL. No one slept worse on Friday night than John Mara, because he had to know that Saquon Barkley was doing that with the Philadelphia Eagles. So keep yourself there. Keep yourself with a little bit of positivity before you hit that NickLayLaw.com talking text line, 414-799-1973, or dump all the hateful and spiteful reactions. And you can call it at 414-799-1973. Your reaction to all of it. Jordan Love out for 3 to 6 weeks. Packers 0-1. Match Diamonds here in 35 minutes. John Kuhn back from Brazil. It's 9 to noon, full strength on the game. Find the birthday boy, John Kuhn, on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. It's 414-799-1973. And if Dak Prescott, you're listening, throw him a couple of bucks. You got a couple extra.
Oh, wow. How about
Wait,
that?
you getting money for your birthday? What's going on?
I don't know.
Slide it in my
Yeah,
birthday
show
card.
up. Come on now. Show your boy some love on his birthday, Dak Prescott.
You ever get that birthday card, when you're a kid and you're hoping when you open that envelope, something falls out? Like
Dude,
that card.
And then you get one from your aunt and you're like, I know there's nothing in
No,
there.
some people would do
I
it.
know there's
And,
nothing
and then as you grow older, you knew the relatives that were going to slide you something. I had one uncle. It's actually my dad's, my great uncle. Okay. Rest in peace, Uncle Badrujan. Okay. It's one of the Armenian terms of, one of the Armenian names of John. And he always had that money order in. He was the only guy I never saw a money order. It wasn't a check. It wasn't cash. It was a money order. He always had that money order.
He hit you with a Wells Fargo slip or something?
It was a money order from the Bank of New York or something.
That's
He
awesome.
lived in the Bronx. Yeah. It was awesome. I'm like, what's a money
I was at the
order?
Do you
tail
remember
end of
you used to
savings
be
bonds.
able? I think you used to be able to even go to gas stations and get money orders back in the day.
Ooh,
So,
okay.
I had a speeding ticket once, and it was in Illinois in Lake
Is that
County.
your only speeding ticket?
No, I've had 3 or 4,
Wow,
which is crazy to me, right?
Which
right?
is
Goodness
really
gracious.
crazy because I've
Ridiculous.
ridden with Armin and I've had,
Right.
if I could, there was a couple times I thought about reaching over the center console and pushing on his right knee just to get us moving.
Right,
Yeah, moving
right.
along a little bit.
I remember the first or second time I got pulled over. I'm looking at the guy. I'm like, you don't know how ironic this is. Like, I can't believe I'm getting this. It's like Eli Manning winning the Super Bowl. Don't win any other playoff games, but you have 2 big. Anyway, so
the guy's like, all right, buddy, you're talking yourself out of this one.
So anyway, I couldn't send it, pay it online. I had to send a money order in to pay this because it was in Lake County, because it was in
Damn.
Waukegan or something like
Sure.
that. I had to send them. I'm like, where do I get a money order? So I go to the grocery store, and you can get it at the grocery store.
I was going to say, if it was in Waukegan, you could have driven down the street and found 6 places that could have given you a
Right.
money order, bond, laundromat.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go to those. Do that.
Now there's also a dispo and a sidewalk casino that you'll also find yourself
There
in
is.
Waukegan.
There
It's
is.
an interesting place. 414-799-1973. NicoletLaw.com talking text line after the Packers catch an L 34-29. Maybe not the fattest of L's, even though it was tough start to the Jeff Hafley era in Green Bay on the defensive side. Tough break on the second to last play of the game as Jordan Love gets twisted up. Now, John, I don't know if you were able to see some of the reaction. Many people and somebody on our NicoletLaw.com talking text line asking if Jalen Carter is going to get reprimanded for twisting Jordan Love's knee. He was fighting it back, man. People were giving him some DMs with some rather ridiculous notions that he was intentionally trying to hurt Jordan Love, that he was a dirty player. They were going to take some shots at Jalen Carter. There's a lot of things in Jalen Carter's past. This one, not one to be all that upset about from the former Bulldog.
Well, here's the deal. When you're playing the game of football, you are literally, and it's got to be impossible to play defense now because you are scratching and clawing and grinding and crawling and jumping and hurling and throwing your body just to make an impact, to make a play, right? He's kind of going to the ground. He's on the ground. He's crawling. He's got Jordan Love's leg. Yeah, he's going to try and bend him down, get him down, anything, because there's a Hail Mary at stake here. Jordan Love's trying to win the game.
Yeah.
You're trying to stop him from winning the game.
I
You are
agree.
going to do anything to try and get him on the ground. I mean, no, I don't think it was a dirty play, not even close to a dirty play whatsoever. These things just happen in football.
Yeah, it is football. It's a contact sport. It's a brutal one, and it's a brutal beat of it. However, it does look like it could be not the worst case scenario for the Green Bay Packers. Right now, 3 to 6 weeks, sprained MCL. The reporting for Jordan Love's injury, 414-799-1973. Let's go to Wasili in Greenfield. He's first up in the 2024 season on the talk version of the NicoletLaw.com talking text line here on 9 to noon on a Packers Monday. Wasili, what's on your mind?
Good morning, gentlemen, and happy birthday, John. Many more to you.
Thank you, Wasila.
A couple things. I mean, one, the field was horrible, I felt like. 2, we had opportunities. We got to capitalize more in the red zone. I mean, we had 2 opportunities, golden opportunities that we did, and we put field goals up. I mean, you score 1 touchdown, that's a change of the game right there. We're in the lead instead of we're throwing up this Hail Mary. I'm not worried about it. We're okay. It's early in the season. It's only week 1. I mean, backup's a backup. That's what they get paid to do. And we'll see what happens. Don't panic quite yet. I agree with John. The oven's on, but we'll be okay. It's only week 1. And to find a money order, you can go to Speedway too. So,
Oh,
All right,
there we
let's
go.
go.
Told you.
Oh, there we
Told
go.
you. You can get him there.
Guys, have a good rest of the day.
Appreciate it, Wes Seeley. I like that. You can find a couple more gas stations with a money order.
I
We got a
told
lot
you.
of people hitting us in here.
I remember-
97.3 The Game, brought to you by Western Union.
There used to be a time when you needed money orders to pay for things or or a check or something weird. But actually, I think it was a money order over a personal check because a money order guaranteed the money was going to be there versus a personal check. They weren't sure.
That's
So there was time back in the day you had to go to a gas station or a bank and get this damn money order.
That's the reason checks were not as reliable, right? They wouldn't accept, like, checks could bounce in theory, and you wouldn't get your
Sure.
money. But a money order already was
Well,
paid.
Ken in the
in
Falls
cash.
also saying any post office sends money orders.
All right.
People remember this. People used to go to grocery stores and write personal checks.
Yeah.
You would stand there and write for them to fill out an entire check, and you'd be tapping your foot like, come on, why are you writing so slow? Your handwriting doesn't need to be
Right.
that perfect on a personal check. But you would stand there and wait. Now people just bleep and they're through. People bag their own groceries and everything now. It's wild.
Yeah, that is wild. Self-checkout, all that. Times definitely have changed, but I do remember the check writing days. See, balance your checkbook stuff you don't do anymore. You don't have to do anymore.
No,
We
you
used to
can
do
you
it.
know, do some stuff in a little bit more easy
Yeah.
case. Like you can text and call as well. Like Dan in the 715s. Packers lose. $220 million man hurt. Defense sucks.
Oh.
Big Mouth Alexander gets roasted. Narv Dog missed a chip shot field goal. Badgers squeak one out against something called South Dakota. Brewers lose another series to another bottom feeder. And by the way, I have to listen to this. All these Mud Ducks tell me how the Vikings are on their way to the Super Bowl again. What a bleep show of a Wisconsin sports weekend.
That would be the worst
Dan from
part.
715.
Mud Ducks. He threw the Mud Ducks in there.
Mud Ducks.
I had to
that.
pause because I didn't know what I was walking into there with Dan from the 715. That's
That
a
was-
good one. That's
but
a
he-
great one.
Listen, in his own tone, in
So
his own
bad.
way, he was not inaccurate about any of that. That was all very accurate right there. We did miss a chip shot.
Those
field
things
goal.
happen. Yeah.
Jair did get roasted once or twice, right? Jair also made a pretty big interception that kept the game alive.
Mhm.
for
Yeah,
us
they
there
did.
late in the second half. So, I mean, yes, these things are true. We did not have a good weekend here in this state, unfortunately.
That was
I
a
mean,
bad throw by Jalen Hurts, though. That was really a bad. I mean,
Oh yeah,
he got
Cardinal
away with
sin.
it.
Throw it against your body.
And they're up five. They're up 5 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you at worst going to go up 8.
Or no, I think they were
Was
up
it?
2 at the time. So if they would have scored a touchdown, then they would have. Oh no, you're right. They were up 5 at the time. Would have went up 8.
Yeah.
Would have been a touchdown and
Yeah.
a 2-point conversion.
So, Matt
Crazy.
in Milwaukee, are you guys serious? Josh Sweat is already tackling Love up by the shoulders, and then Carter decided to grab Love's legs.
Well, it's
Yeah,
football, though.
yeah, Matt. I understand what you're saying. You see your teammate tackling somebody, just let him tackle him. Don't jump in. Don't try and help. Don't
He
try and
doesn't
take him
need
down
me.
too. But
He's
we've
got
never seen anybody break a tackle before.
Right.
It's
He's
never
got it.
happened.
At the
We've
end of the game, too.
We've never seen a quarterback slip out of a tackle or the grasp of 2 guys and then throw it downfield to David Tyree in the Super Bowl. We've never seen that happen, have we? We should just let our other teammates do it. And
Yeah, he's got it.
that is a foolish notion. There was nothing dirty about that play.
I agree with that. That was the one thing I couldn't understand after the game when people were trying to, and I get it. You know, you're feeling salty about it. You want to blame someone. You want to create a villain. You want to make the other team the boogeyman, but it is what it is. It was an unfortunate moment in the game for an injury, but it was a legit, clean,
So-
legal play.
I do have a question though. Wassili had a great call. He had several different points.
Love
in there
that part of
were really good. When Nooners come with great phone calls, I love it. Great phone call, Wassili. He mentioned the field. The field was trash. Wasn't it the 96 NFC Championship
Yes.
game that was just covered with mud? It was just mud.
Divisional round.
Yep.
Correct.
Divisional round.
Yep.
Divisional
That
round
was the game against the
it was-
Niners. Yeah.
It was just mud. The field, there was no grass.
Yeah. How many
It
games
was
did you
all
play at
mud.
Soldier Field in your career?
I got to quit. Did anybody, because the Packers won, did anybody after that game say the field was trash?
Well, yes, people. I mean, obviously, the muddy field was a big topic,
Did
but
they
it wasn't
complain
like
about
it wasn't complaining. It was just like that was part of it. It was like the field's terrible. Will it be better for next week? Boy, this field really was a mess. It was the Mud Bowl. We were kind of like that was just part of the storyline of the game, but it wasn't like I don't know. We won, so maybe the 49ers fans blame that, but it was always bad in San Francisco too. The Bay Area always had bad. When you were used to playing on nothing but grass and mud, as you know, John, it got wet, it got muddy. Like this is what it is. Do we want to play on grass or not?
I loved playing
I know.
when the field got trashed,
Right.
because it was the great equalizer. It made it better for guys that weren't as fast. I loved it. I find this notion that these fields need to be absolutely pristine, but wait, we also want to complain about
Slit
turf,
turf field,
which is
yeah.
absolutely pristine every game that you play on it. You can't have both, right?
Mhm.
You can't, if you're going to have grass is an imperfection because it's manicured by humans that are imperfect. Also, it's affected by the weather, which is imperfect.
Right.
You cannot have both. That field the other night was somewhat slippery. It was a slick track, but put your big boy spikes on, run underneath yourself, and you should be able to manage. You'll still slip once or twice. I mean, you're not going to not slip,
Mhm.
but you're going to keep your stuff together. And you know what? The team that handles it better is going to do better. And we kind of saw that. And we should be more prepared than anybody. Lambeau Field's the slickest track in the entire NFL.
Correct. And Lincoln Financial Field's not that far behind, right? Like, I mean, I watched
Yeah, it's
it,
not that
and
far behind.
I'm sorry, I watched too many games at Soldier Field to lose my top about the field being the issue, the turf being the problem. And John, I mean, you were on the sidelines more than I. The only one I can fully remember now, granted, it was the only real headliner, Jordan Love. Any other lower extremity injuries, right? Like David Bakhtiari jumped on it and said, I do still think it might be better than turf. Don't love the fact that we're, shipping our players overseas and going here, there, and elsewhere to play games, but there's not that much to complain about. At some point, figure out how to not slip.
Exactly. It was enough for me. I mean,
Saquon Barkley wasn't having a big problem with it.
No, you definitely
That's
wasn't.
the funny
There
part.
was Jaden Reed.
I've rewatched the game. I've rewatched it when I got home.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon slipped first play of the game.
Yeah.
Ass over teacups, straight on his
Give me
head.
them cleats.
Yeah. He changed something up.
Mm-hmm.
He fixed it.
Yep.
Jaden Reed looked like he was running on,
Looked
fly
like a
paper.
superhero.
It was unbelievable.
My man, yeah, he looked awesome. So whatever it was with him, and that's just enough people on one side of their mouth will always tell me it's their old school football. And it's a game of the elements. Well, this was an element. Okay?
It was the game of the elements.
So
yeah.
don't tell me on one side that's the way you like football. On the other side, complain, cry, and whine about it.
We literally don't want a dome at Lambeau Field, even though it would bring a Super Bowl here. We don't want a dome because we want the elements.
It's football.
We can't complain about the elements.
Yes, like this is football. Go play.
Some point, figure it out.
Yes.
414-799-1973. A lot more talking text line reactions like Janie R. in Appleton. I don't know what game you were watching on Friday night. I saw a train wreck. How many penalties? If I was a new Brazilian NFL fan, I would be hard pressed to become a fan. Woo!
Hey, let me tell you,
They're all out.
They're not hard pressed to become a fan.
They were excited.
That atmosphere was something different, and it wasn't because
It's because of those big red cups that everyone was drinking out of.
I'll tell you, it was we got to get into it. It
Mhm.
was different, and when I explain it, it's wild. It was wild to watch.
I'm excited for that. That comes up along with your reaction to Packers game 1 of the 2024 season, losing Jordan Love for a somewhat extended period of time. NicoletLaw.com talking text line remains open throughout the day. And just on the other side, before we talk to match 9 minutes and 15 minutes, it's 9 to noon on the game. Week 1 of the NFL season done. Well, not yet. Still one more chance to invest with the Underdog Fantasy NFL Pick'em game tonight. Niners and Jets. Who you got going higher or lower? A couple of Brock Purdy, maybe Aaron Rodgers plays. I like touchdown statistics because they can multiply your odds and have you a better chance of winning even more money on the Underdog Fantasy app. Making picks on Underdog is super easy, and it's even easier to get started. Go to their mobile app, download it today, use promo code Billy when you sign up, BILLY, because Underdog is going to give you a highly discounted pick to use on your first pick'em entry. Plus, they're going to give you a first-time deposit offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. That's Underdog Fantasy. Promo code Billy. Claim your new customer offer of a gimme first pick and your deposit offer. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. All right, Matt Schneidman joins 9 to noon in about 8 minutes from right now. 34-29, Packers lose in Brazil. The most discussed, maybe longest awaited early opening game, because it was the first game that we knew in the NFL schedule, as the Packers lose on Friday night. They also lose their starting quarterback, Jordan Love, for 3 to 6 weeks is the reported time. Sprained MCL. Could be different. Couple people throwing in Aaron Rodgers had a sprained MCL, also, and another injury, tibial plateau fracture. I don't know. Not an orthopedist. That was in 2018. Played through it. So, John, instantly people are saying, Aaron played through it. Why can't Jordan? What would Brett have done? He would have been playing. Different time, different place. More importantly, different knees, right? Like, I mean, they're all different. Not only the fact that this one's different because there's $220 million simply just committed to the young man, checks notes 34 days ago. Lot different situations, and none of them can really be comparable, I don't think.
Yeah, and Aaron playing with an MCL is amazing because, quite frankly, the first week of an MCL is, I mean, you can hardly walk. You can hardly bend your knee to walk. You will have swelling. You will have pain. I mean, true MCLs, which this looked like, I mean, you actually saw a little pop in there. Yep. So I got a feeling it's a good MCL. It's going to be some time. We're looking at probably a month before Jordan Love comes back, and even comes back and is effective, right? You don't want to. Do you want Jordan Love to come back as a quick healer in 2 weeks, a la Brett Favre, like I saw on the by the way, the talking text line today?
Phenomenal. Oh, on fire. On fire. Mid-season.
And I apologize. We're trying to get back to him. Thanks for everybody for the happy birthday messages. There are 7,000 texts on here right now. I love our listeners. I love our Nooners. A lot of great stuff on here that we will dive into. But Jordan Love's going to miss some time. So who do you go with? Malik Willis, who's only been here for 10 days, but Brian Gutekunst saw something in probably when he came out 2 years ago as a rookie, and probably throughout the preseason or some of the game film that he has on him, he saw something that they could work with to potentially be a good backup quarterback. But again, he's only been here 10 days. Or Sean Clifford, who's been here over a year now, but he is who we kind of seen him to be in this preseason and last year's preseason. So did you see enough in Sean Clifford in the preseasons to believe that his time and his knowledge in this offense is going to get us the best chance of getting over the hump and getting a victory this week? Or is it the new guy? Is it Malik Willis?
Oh, it's going to be fascinating to see. Let's grab Tommy in Sun Prairie quickly before Matt Schneidman hops on in about 5 minutes. Tommy, what do you got on this?
Hey, boys. Love the show. Thanks for having me. And, I agree. You got to make sure Love is healthy and comfortable to come back. But I think the season's far from over. I mean, there were correctable issues Friday, penalties, red zone offense. I mean, there was an awful defensive holding call on Ja to extend that last drive for them to run the clock. I mean, a drop pick 6, and we still went toe-to-toe with a good Eagles team down in the last possession. I mean, the Love injury made me sick. I went to bed nauseous Friday, but last season we had a bad start. You know, the Titans just showed you can beat them with terrible QB play. I think the defense is going to start to settle into a new scheme. Love comes back. Even if we go 0-5, why can't we go 9-3 in the last 12 games?
Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Into a wild card. Why not? So thanks, boys. I appreciate it and love the show.
We love you, Tommy in Sun Prairie. Thanks for being a part of the show and dialing up 414-799-1973. More of those coming up on the other side. Quick timeout when we join. Matt Schneidman joins us. Matt Schneidman joins us. Yeah, you know what? Why don't we join Matt for a 5-egg omelet with spinach?
Let's join Matt.
How about we all come together?
By the way, hey, I also do acknowledge if we go 0-4 or we go 0-5, we can run the table.
We can figure it out.
I get that too.
We can figure it out. Yes.
I get anything.
Come on, John. We can figure it out.
I know.
I get anything can happen, Armin.
Right.
I get anything can happen, Tommy. I'm just saying, hold on to your britches. It's about to get reels.
It's going to get interesting.
Everyone hold on to your britches. All right.
I like hold on to your butts. Am I allowed to say that?
You're allowed to say hold on to your butt. Absolutely.
Okay.
I think.
I don't know. You didn't fully turn to go towards that dump button. You had a little sudden twitch.
No,
I just didn't want to give you any issue.
But is not unerrable.
You said there's a lot of things last week that I didn't think were arable, and you let them fly quite often. So you can do it. Flying back from Brazil was what Matt Steinman did this weekend. He jumps on to 9 to noon right after this. In hour 2 on an overreaction. Packers lose. Sky is falling Monday, 34-29, the final. 9 to noon. Hour 2 is next on the game. Hour 2, 9 to noon, brought to you by Happy Place Hemp and happyplacehemp.com. Everybody relax with some Happy Place Hemp. Use promo code Billy. Get 25% off your entire order every time at happyplacehemp.com, whether it's their Delta 8, Delta 9, strictly recreational gummies, or CBN CBD gummies, which can utilize every single day. Sleepy time gummies, if you really have a long flight, you need to stretch out, relax, get some shut-eye. Happy Place Hemp has you right there, and they have a 25% off when you use promo code Billy at happyplacehemp.com. All right, Matt Schneidman joins us now. Hour 2 on a Monday. Reactions to a 34-29 Packers loss. And the biggest reaction to the biggest story, the one that Matt, I can only assume you would guess this on Friday night, that, the Jordan Love story kind of trumped everything else. We'd like to talk about everything else. But first, your video was like the only bit that people kind of were able to get of a reaction after the game, consume it, walking out of Arena Corinthians on Friday night after you saw Jordan Love walking out. What was your thought? That the report of an MCL 3 to 6 week would be the assumption, or was that at least for you a moment of, I'm going to cover him playing football games again this year. This won't be the end of 2024.
Well, you never know, because Jordy Nelson walked off a torn ACL in 2015, so you just never know. But yes, my initial thought was, okay, it's probably not worst case, because after whatever initial test they did post-game, the Packers doctors let him walk out of there under his own power, carrying his own bags, and he didn't seem to have too much of a limp. So my hunch said it wasn't going to be season-ending. But again, I'm not a doctor, and neither are all these internet doctors who are like, oh, high ankle sprain. Well, just let's wait for the team to put it out there and, listen to what the team has to say or reports. And they got what a lot of people think is the best case news. And if he misses 3 to 4 weeks, then all Malik Willis has to do is win 2 games. And I'd say if the Packers are 2-3 when Jordan Love comes back, then that's not too bad.
I agree.
That's
with
really
you.
all he's got to do is win 2 games.
Completely agree with you. 2-2 with Malik Willis would be absolutely phenomenal.
Yep.
How likely is it coming off of 10 days of learning the offense?
It'll be tough, and I'm hesitant to say, their schedule's easy. Their schedule was quote unquote easy the first half of last season, and they were 2-5. So they've got the Colts at home, the Titans on the road, the Vikings at home, the Rams on the road, and then if you want to look beyond that, the Cardinals at home. So is it the most daunting schedule? No, but you still got to go out there and win games. And all Malik Willis has to do, he doesn't have to go out there and win them the game. He has to not lose them the game. He has to be a game manager. I know
Don't be Will Levis
on that term. He's got to not shoot the Packers in the foot like they did so often to themselves on Friday. So let Josh Jacobs handle the load. And I understand defenses are going to be keyed in on Josh because they're like, oh, Malik isn't going to throw the ball. So it's going to be harder for Josh Jacobs to run, but Packers got to find a way. Malik's probably got to make a couple plays. And then the defense has to do yeoman's work like they did the first half of last season. It's on Jeff Hafley's unit to keep this Packers season alive. I would say it's way more on the defense than Malik Willis to keep this season alive over the next month.
Well, and does that concern you? I think that's the question. I'd agree it's on the defense, and I would say Malik has to make some plays. He can't just be the don't turn it over and we'll be fine. This is the 85 Bears. That's the question for me is if it's up to the defense, do we trust that they can get it done and win games by themselves? There's a lot we don't know yet about this.
I think the answer is just no, because they haven't shown they can do it yet.
Yeah.
There were some good things that happened in that game on Friday, but there was a lot of bad. Obviously, anytime you give up 34 points, that's not good. Yes, Armin, I agree that Malik Willis is going to have to make some plays, but I don't think we can sit here and say with confidence that the Packers defense can carry them. And that's not because they're terrible, and that's proven, because they're not. It's just that they're unproven in whatever facet you choose to view them in. So we'll see how they can hold up. Matt LaFleur is going to say today, I'm guessing, we're going to take the week to determine who's starting for us at quarterback. The Indianapolis Colts are not preparing for a single snap of Sean Clifford on Sunday. Let's just be real. Like, if the Packers were deciding who would start, then Malik Willis wouldn't have been the backup. The fact that Malik Willis was the backup on Friday shows that they're comfortable enough in his handle of the offense already to make him the backup. Now with another...
I know that's what they're going to say. Do you believe that for sure?
No.
Do you believe that for sure? Here's my thought on that, Matt. When you trade for a guy, when you bring a guy in like that, he's your guy. He's going to be on your roster. But you're hoping you don't have to use him for a solid month. So you can teach him the playbook, so he can watch Jordan Love run the offense, so he can watch just the way you get in and out of the huddle. You call the snap. I mean, cadences are different. Huddles are different. I mean, these are like A1 basic things that should not be hard. But when those are the things you're thinking about, are you really thinking about getting to your third progression because, they came out in cover 6 instead of man, which is what the deep play was called for. These are the things that a quarterback needs to know when they go out there and play.
Sure. I agree with you that maybe designating Willis as your backup doesn't mean you're more comfortable with him starting in the long term if something were to go bad. But you're designating him as your backup, thinking worst case scenario that if Jordan Love gets hurt on the 5th play of the game, he can go out there and operate the game. So by that logic, that would mean they think he's more comfortable with going out there and operating a game now. The question was going into last week was, has he learned enough of the offense to go in there and operate it from snap number 2 if need be? Packers thought the answer was yes. So with an extra week and a half of learning the offense, I would imagine it's even more of a resounding yes.
Okay, now let me ask: is there a chance that it wasn't a yes? It was a, hey, if something goes down in this game, if Jordan Love exits this game, we're going to insert Malik Willis and we're going to keep it incredibly simple, but we're not going to have the game plan that we have here. If Malik Willis goes in this game, we got call it a dozen plays. We're going to be able
Sure. But my point is,
and if it happens and we lose the game, then we'll reevaluate after the game. I believe that could potentially be the case. I believe that probably was the case. And I believe they are in reevaluation mode today. Sean Clifford knows the playbook, probably knows more plays than Malik Willis. He can help him get up to speed, or we can put him in. Malik Willis, probably more athletically gifted, but he's not been here that long.
Sure, but the point is they chose Malik Willis over Sean Clifford. If they wanted someone who could know the playbook and operate the offense better, then wouldn't they have just made Clifford the backup on Friday? I understand where you're coming from. And maybe LaFleur is being truthful that they're really going to take the week. But I'd be stunned if Sean Clifford starts on Sunday against the Colts.
Would you be more stunned if that happened, or if they actually, as your coworker at The Athletic, Diana Rossini, pointed out, that the Packers had reached out to Ryan Tannehill? Now, Tom Pelissero, insider off, said they have not.
Diana's correct. Diana's report is correct.
Yes.
There
So,
you go. Okay.
would you be surprised if that was brought in? If that was brought in?
Yes, I would be surprised, just because look at it from Ryan Tannehill's perspective. If Jordan Love was out for the season, then Ryan Tannehill would probably be the quarterback, because Malik Willis was brought in to be the backup. That doesn't necessarily mean that the Packers are comfortable with him being a long-term starter. They see him as a guy who's backup quality, who can take over for the short term, who they want to develop. Now, Ryan Tannehill would probably be a more serviceable option for a long-term starter. Now, Ryan Tannehill is not going to want to, put all his stuff down from whatever he's doing and move to Green Bay for 3 weeks, unless he's made enough money that he doesn't have.
Yep.
Why?
John, what do you think?
Yes.
Months full year.
Why would he want to do that?
What better team to walk into than a team with offensive talent like the Green Bay Packers?
Yeah, but
right?
What good does that do for you if you're just released in 3 weeks?
Well, if you do well, if you bet on yourself and you do well with talent around you, this could be the perfect fit. Number one, if you do well, they might keep you for the rest of the year as the backup. Yeah, it might just stay here. And number two, if you do well and they keep you for a backup, then next year you can get another year and say, look at what I did with these 3 games. Don't you want me to be your backup or your potential starter?
Ryan Tannehill doesn't want to be a backup at this point in his career. He sat down with Diana a couple of weeks ago and was like, I'm waiting for the right opportunity. In other words, I'm waiting for a chance where I can be a starter or be 2 seconds away from being a starter if the starter stinks.
But why do you want to be a starter? Why do you want that opportunity to prove it? He has a chance to prove he can be a starter. He can come in and start for the Green Bay Packers and prove it. He can show the whole. I think Ryan Tannehill would be crazy to turn this down. I'm not saying the Green Bay Packers are going after him. They just had a phone call. All we know is that they reached out. We don't know if the Green Bay Packers offered. We just know that the Green Bay Packers made a phone call. I think Ryan Tannehill would be foolish not to entertain this offer and come in here and show the world if he is still a starting quarterback. Because guess what? Would you rather go to the Giants and be a starter there? Would you? I mean, you see their offense. I would. I'd rather come to Green Bay with this offense, with Matt LaFleur, spin it around, show everybody how good I can be if I'm with the right system, with the right people. And then, hey, maybe I do resurrect my career at 36 years old.
Well, wouldn't it be about the money too? How much you would get, or what?
No, I think he wants guaranteed games. I'm with Matt here. I think if it was 6 to 8 games, or if it was in a longer runway, I think Tannehill is more interested. If we're just going to play the guessing game here, because that's exactly what this is. The only new thing that we know is that they reached out to him. I think they said, hey, come on in, figure out how to help us beat the Indianapolis Colts. He said, I'm only going to be there for 3 games? I'm going to hold out. I'm going to wait. I'll wait to see if I can be the quarterback of, I don't know, the Las Vegas Raiders at some point. If he can go in for 8 games and be the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. Matt, I just think that's the bigger one of the extended runway is the bigger part for Tannehill at this point.
And there's absolutely sound logic in what John's saying.
Totally
you
is.
Use this as an audition period to prove to teams that even if you're not the Packers' long-term starter, they should take a chance on you if the chance arises. But guess what? Ryan Tannehill is already the top option on everybody's list in case something goes bad with their starting quarterback. He's the only respectable veteran quarterback available in free agency. So it's not like he has anything more to prove, because if a team is willing to go outside for a free agent quarterback, he's going to be the guy anyway. So I imagine that if he wants to get off his couch or wherever he is, the beach, wherever he is, to be a quarterback, he wants to make it worth his time. And it's not like he's a young quarterback who has to prove that he deserves a chance.
I understand all that, but the thing that's kind of confusing to me is at 36 years old, what do you think he wants? Just to be a starting quarterback? Just to be the starting quarterback? For what reason? For what reason? To win a Super Bowl? To win a Super Bowl, right? Where does he have a better chance
to build a new contract? Maybe
he's not going to win a Super Bowl as a starter in Green Bay. Jordan Love is going to be
but he could be a part of the story. He could right the ship.
He doesn't care about being a backup,
huh?
Why does he care about being a backup?
So you're saying it's probably more important to him to be a starter on a team that probably has no chance of even going to the playoffs. You said the Raiders and the Giants. It's more important for him to be a starter on a team that won't even make the playoffs than to be a part of righting the ship here, going to the playoffs and being on a good team.
If he wanted to win the Super Bowl as a backup, why would he? He would have already signed with a contender as a backup if he wanted to win a Super Bowl as a backup. It's very clear Ryan Tannehill only wants to be a starter. He said to Diana on her podcast, that he's waiting for the right chance. If Ryan Tannehill is every single team in the league, maybe like 28 teams would take Ryan Tannehill as a backup. And a lot of those teams are in Super Bowl contention, I'm guessing. If he hasn't signed with any of them, it's very, very clear, reading between the lines, he only wants to be a starter. Or maybe a backup where, the quarterback situation is very much on ice. And
it's the same.
And if you're a Super Bowl contender, that means your quarterback situation is not on ice. He's not going to go to the Ravens or the Chiefs, because guess what? If Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson has a couple bad games, they're not getting benched. But if Gardner Minshew has a couple bad games or Daniel Jones has a couple bad games, then maybe your chance is there. It's very clear what Ryan Tannehill wants. It's to be a starter. I don't know if he is willing to go be a starter for a crap team, but he would be the starter in Green Bay if Jordan Love was out for the season. Jordan Love is out for 3 to 4 weeks probably. Ryan Tannehill has no reason to come here in his mind.
And I'm thinking that's 4 game checks I would take.
But he's made enough. But that's.
I know he's made money.
With all due respect, John's made a lot more money than the rest of us. You're a radio producer. Billy and I are
right.
Radio. You're a radio personality. Ryan Tannehill is an NFL quarterback who's made more money than he could ever imagine.
It's different.
And you know what? If what you're saying is true, I don't want that guy in my locker room. I don't want that.
It's
guy in
the
my locker
same
room.
guy that said, John, I'm not ready. I'm not here to get this kid ready to play who they just drafted. And oh, by the way, the kid that they drafted is the kid the Packers just traded for.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Can you
I
imagine-
know the situation.
Maybe that's a
Right.
good
So I
point,
mean,
too.
like, I do
And-
wonder
and-
if that is in his head. Like you outlining all that you did,
Yeah.
great points to it. And I totally get why, as a player in that locker room, like, I don't really know that I want this cat. Like, does he actually want to be a part? Does he want to
Right.
try to win? Or does he want to play and get, a couple of numbers and get people to remember that, oh, he had a nice little run there and have a chance at comeback player of the year? That's what he wants. I don't think he cares about being here in December and January as the Packers are playing playoff games holding a clipboard.
Yeah, and I think about being 36 years old and not having a Super Bowl to my name.
Yes.
And potentially being a part of anything and how important that would be to me. And hey, to each their own. Everybody has different motivations. And if that's Ryan Tannehill's motivations, then fine. Good for him.
Yeah.
And he's welcome to have those motivations. I would just think he's made all the money he's needed. He's 36 years old. Be a part of something special and resurrect a team that's looking pretty scary right now.
That is a good point, John. I mean, in theory, you could be part of that story, right? You could always be on that NFL Films doc. You would be brought back for generations saying this man kept us afloat and this was the story of the year, right? For this special Super Bowl year. It is something to think about. I mean, if motivation's not always money, other than I get guys wanting to play. I understand, people desire to play the game. They don't want to sit on the bench, but you kind of would be the starter for 4 weeks. Maybe if there's an indication from the Packers, say, look, it's going to take this amount of time. It would be this much time and playing time for you. I don't know. I think it would be an interesting decision to see play out.
I believe, Matt, because I believe you have some knowledge here. You at least can read between lines very well and the connection with you and Diana. So when you tell me he just wants to be a starter somewhere,
I believe you're right.
His motivation is not in, resurrecting his career or actually just being a part of a team or being a part of something special and winning a Super Bowl. If those aren't his actual motivations, then please pass. Pass. I'm hitting the pass.
I'm just saying that because not because of any inside knowledge.
Matt.
He was on a show with Diana
Matt,
and
you're
said
right now.
Oh, I'm sorry, Matt. Go ahead. Sorry.
Come
about-
on, Armin.
Sorry about that.
That was a great answer.
Sorry
Sorry,
about
Matt.
that.
Go ahead.
he was. I mean, I'm not saying that because it's any inside information I have. It's because he was on a show with Diana and said, "I'm waiting for the right opportunity." Normally, when a guy who can play at least the backup level says, "I'm waiting for an opportunity," probably means I'm waiting for a chance to be the starter. That's all I'm doing is reading.
Yeah.
I heard you.
No,
You make
100%.
sense, yeah.
100%. Let's talk about the other parts of it because a couple of debuts, early indications, first half. We were sitting here at the Megaplex and Drew Olson, co-host on Packers OT, is like, 48 million for Josh Jacobs? Like, what are we looking at here with Josh Jacobs? Second half starts leaning on people and really wears them down. Offensive running game, good. Defensive running game, not great. We wondered which of those two running backs would have the bigger impact. Clearly Barkley, but which was the bigger story for you, Matt? How the Packers were able to run the ball in the second half, or how in game one under Jeff Hafley they were unable to contain at all in the second half Saquon Barkley?
Well, first of all, I love Drew and I love you guys, but I just watched the game back this morning. Go back and watch the game and watch how Josh Jacobs has no freaking space to breathe in the first half. He's being hit at or before the line of scrimmage. The blocking was horrific in the first half. He said after the game they changed things up schematically. I'm kind of curious as to what that means, but Josh Jacobs is able to get through holes and wiggle through holes. It's like everyone is so down on A.J. Dillon last year because he couldn't hit the hole and find the hole. That was a consistent thing. Josh Jacobs was able to fix that in a half. It's not Josh Jacobs. It was the blocking. And I would say the bigger storyline, probably Jeff Hafley's defense. Now, I did find it interesting what Kenny Clark said after the game. We heard so much this offseason about, hand in the dirt and the TFLs and sacks, and we didn't really see much pressure on Jalen Hurts. There were a couple where there was good coverage and there were like coverage pressures and whatnot. Kenny Clark said that, and I want to make sure I paraphrase this correctly. He said what he said was they weren't necessarily trying to sack Jalen Hurts, and that's probably misleading from what he said, but he said it was just power rush. We're just power rushing to keep him in the pocket. They didn't want to do too much laterally or get funky with their pass rush moves because that would have opened up lanes for Jalen Hurts to run. They just wanted to rush straight on, make him throw, keep him in the pocket, and if he beat them, he beat them. In my eyes, the back end wasn't good enough. Sure, the pass rush didn't get home, but the Packers necessarily weren't trying to do too much exotic up front. So that was kind of by design to give Hurts a little bit of time. And he beat them. The back end wasn't good enough. So that was that. Now, will we see a different approach, a more get after Anthony Richardson approach? Maybe. But I think it was by design that they didn't try and make Jalen Hurts run for his life and get out of the pocket.
I actually think it was the right call. I thought a lot of what the Packers went into the game with were good designs, good philosophies, and a great game plan. I felt like there was some moments of execution and definitely some moments of some penalties that actually hurt them. What did you think of the penalties? Were the refs bad? Were the Packers bad? Was it a combination of both?
There were probably a couple questionable calls, but the Packers were far too sloppy to deserve to win that game. And the Eagles weren't, pristine either, but the Packers shot themselves in the foot way too much. Whether it was, Romeo Doubs' offensive pass interference when they had 1st and goal at the 3.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that call?
Huh?
What'd you think of that call?
I mean, he just checked the guy. Yeah, I think
you're allowed to, you're allowed to do that within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage.
Right. Wasn't it at the goal line though?
It was really close.
It looked like he
2.
was straddling that 1 yard, that 2 yard line.
It was
right
really
there,
close to
right
the
there.
I didn't pay attention too closely to where he was, but whether it was the holds that set back drives after their 2 takeaways on the first couple drives, whether it was maybe, I know people think the holding call on Jair was questionable. Holding call on Kenny Clark. It's okay, sure.
Kenny Clark holding.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I'm sorry. I totally get it. And I'm one that you got to help these offensive linemen as much as anything. My man, Saquon Barkley shoulder checks right into Kenny Clark's chest. He grabs him hold on, I'm just going to try to stand up here for a second, spins him around, and that's the holding call? Good.
That's fine. You can nitpick that, but
that was a bizarre call.
The bottom line is they shot themselves in the foot way too much.
Yeah,
they did.
But the good news, listen, it's not good coming out of that game. They're 0-1. They're not going to have their quarterback for maybe the next month, whatever. But if they are able to tread water here over the next month and even be at 2-3, like I said, 1-4 would be tough. The fact that they only lost by 5, it was never a 2-possession game against one of the best teams in the NFL, and the Packers played as sloppily as they did. If they get Jordan Love back at 2-3, I think they have all the confidence in the world, and they should, that they can still make a run.
That's what I'm talking about.
Let me ask you. I said at the start of the show, I thought the Packers beat themselves primarily in this football game, except in one place: up front, offense and defensive lines. I felt like the offensive line and the defensive line both got pushed around by the Eagles' offensive and defensive lines. They are exceptional on the offensive and defensive line. The Eagles, that is exceptional. What do you take from that?
Yeah, they're playing probably the best team in the trenches in the NFL.
Okay.
So I think.
So give a little slack.
With Saquon, they beat us up with that. I mean, they really did.
100%.
He was right back. That was a big, him and A.J. Brown were the main difference in their all.
So running backs can matter.
They could matter, but a great line is more, I think, more important.
100%, because the Packers held Saquon in check against the Giants last year, and he went crazy, this year. I know his yards per carry was under 5, and the last couple runs got it under 5 because I don't know if they were trying to score, they were just trying to run clock, whatever.
That was weird, yeah.
If you beat the Eagles in the trenches up front, you're probably going to win the Super Bowl. Now, I don't want to draw anything too big from them losing to the Eagles in the trenches because it's one game against the best team in the trenches in the league, probably. But it just goes to show that this team has some work to do up front. PFF was not kind to Josh Myers, Sean Ryan, and Rasheed Walker up front.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Morgan missed the block on the 4th and on the short yardage play that just crushed Josh Jacobs in the backfield. He had no chance.
It looked like on the 2-point conversion, Josh Myers just whiffed. on the guy who made first contact with Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, it goes right through. Yeah.
PFF was very kind to Zach Tom and Elton Jenkins, which, shocker, they're the Packers' 2 best offensive linemen. Kind of knew that. But yeah, there's still some work to do. But listen, if Jordan Love was healthy right now, I think the Packers would feel great about where they are. Because
much
they only
better.
lost by 5. They held with one of the best teams in the league, and they did not play well. But they got their guy. They're good to go. They'll rebound with a couple wins, but they don't have their quarterback. So that's why things are obviously very uneasy, which is why the next month is going to be a lot of sleepless nights. If they can beat the Colts and give themselves some confidence that, okay, maybe we can make some things happen with Malik Willis at quarterback, then I think season's right back on track. But if they lose to the Colts, then it's, okay, things are about to get dangerous.
Desmond Ridder won week 2.
I'm not going to ask you today. I can't wait to ask you Friday if they're going to beat the Colts.
Yeah, that's the question. That is the real question. Because most importantly, there's a lot of cheeseheads that are going to be at Lambeau on Sunday that are driving down to Broadway, going to Nashville for week number 3. So they're really going to want to know that they can beat Billy Jeans, the mayo drinking coffee lover, and somehow
we can't lose to somebody that lost to the Bears.
I think the Colts are better than the Titans.
I would hope so.
Agree.
I would agree.
I didn't watch any of that Titans-Bears game yesterday, but
I watched it, unfortunately.
I mean, does Will Levis just stink?
Matt, he's getting tackled at the hash marks and tries to. Now, you've watched Remember the Titans, right? When Ronnie Bass says, I can't make that pitch, coach. He said, you just got to see it, right? You got to see it. It's 3 yards away. Will Levis tried a 30-yard pitch to throw the ball away. And Stevenson's like, holy, this is the ball. I'm going to score a touchdown here. That was the second touchdown that they had scored on special teams and defense. It was the most Bears victory of all time.
It was.
Oh my God.
The fact
if you could see this guy's drafts just littered with Caleb Williams dunks on Bears fans. He's got to delete all of them.
I had to delete all of them. I mean, the fact of the matter is it's been the same way for the last 40 years.
It's crazy.
The Bears have to win games in the goofiest ways ever. And that's
how do they always have Mike Brown to score like 2 defensive touchdowns
every time?
God, I hate him so much. Matt, we love you, dude. Love you. I can't wait for the Matt Schneidman show coming up tonight at 6.
Thanks, guys.
That's Matt Schneidman. There he goes. He's also they go to the Mats on the Mike Keller show.
He couldn't wait.
Could not wait.
It was a long segment.
Could not wait. Yeah, it was a little long. Sorry. I'm telling you, dude.
John,
John,
got to get our money's worth with him.
I know.
How does Hunter Hillenmeyer always keep just being a ghost of a bear and end up scoring touchdowns? I despise Nathan Vasher style. Tyler Stevenson gets that touchdown yesterday against the Titans. Just the absolute worst.
And
that and more around the NFL coming up. Yeah.
Sorry.
And Jonathan Owens gets himself a gold medal right there. Banner start. And we're going to have an even better one as the Packers don't have a banner start to the season, lose 34-29. All of your reactions and more around the NFL next on 9 to Noon.
John Coon here for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. And the Brewers might have stubbed their toe this weekend, but this baseball season has been a welcome surprise. And the manager, some important pieces that went elsewhere, and yet they still had this great season. Well, Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin always finishes first in the windows and door leagues. Pella's manufacturers of all their own products, and each of those products get tested thousands of times to ensure it stands the test of time. Quality, craftsmanship, and innovation are the reasons that Pella's products have timeless beauty and performance. Pella's windows and doors are the best in class as well, not only from their endless styles, but for the features you can't see. And now for almost something you can't believe. Get as low as $18 per window and $81 per patio door per month. But you got to hurry. That deal only lasts until September 30th. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. And please tell Gina Della that John Coon sent you. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Welcome back to the program, 9 to noon on the game. So many on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line to get to. All the reactions from week 1 in the NFL and the week 1 Packers-Eagles opener in Sao Paulo, Brazil, 34-29. Like Dan and Elkhorn, settle down, Packers fans. It's week 1 of a long season, and your quarterback wasn't lost for the year. Matt LaFleur is a good coach. He'll figure out ways to make it work. You lost by 5 to a great team. Be glad you're not the Bengals. See, now that's level-headed.
There's
That's
something
nice.
there, but the Bengals still their quarterback. But yeah,
Yeah, Dan and Elkhorn's also excited because and he's a Cowboy fan, and they had a heck of a day yesterday. They got to play by the mistake by the lake.
What he's saying doesn't count. Okay.
Re-upped on Dak. Big time, most money any player has ever gotten in the NFL for Dak Prescott. $231 million guaranteed.
A lot of money.
What's the record? 230. Yeah, give me that one.
One more.
231.
Yeah, let me see one more over that
Good
one.
comment.
Sometimes it's cool to be petty.
Yes, it is. I love it. And he gets the $60 million. He got everything they wanted. Jerry Jones bought the Dallas Cowboys when he did buy it in, I believe, 1989. $140 million. He is now paying somebody almost double what he had bought the team for just a $4 million
And if you
four-year
look at the way
contract.
Dak performed yesterday against last year's best defense in the NFL, you'd say worth it.
Worth it.
That being said,
with Ezekiel Elliott as his starting running back, Zeke looked all right yesterday.
Who I also didn't realize. I knew that they were buddies. I didn't realize they were like best friends, room together on the road.
Oh yeah, you didn't know that.
So this is why Zeke is back, because Dak's like, I want him. He's my boy.
Listen, they are tight. They are boys.
Okay.
And Zeke took he took the old Armin Sarian running back humble contract.
Yeah.
Finally. He was still chasing that dollar going to New England after he got released, but now he's back saying, hey,
the new number.
Armin said running backs don't
15.
matter, so I will take the lesser number. I'll come start here as a veteran presence on this football team and show leadership in the backfield. And he did. He ran all right yesterday. He was not a slow old bum. He was a slow old bum version of himself, but he's still not a slow old bum, but he was okay yesterday. And Dak was phenomenal.
Yeah, he was all right. He was a guy, he's wearing a new number, which doesn't look right. I never liked that.
No, it looks better for Zeke. Looks like the 15 that he was running through.
I was convinced.
Okay, I'm starting a new segment called Did It Make Armin's List? Obviously now Zeke wearing 15, that makes Armin's list. Give us why it makes your list.
Why it's a running back wearing 15 and you already had a number? Why did you want to change it like that? It doesn't look
Listen,
right.
if I'm going to create a new segment called
Braden
Is It on
Armisen
Armin's
wearing
List?
44.
Can you please come with some passion? Can you please come with some excitement?
Thought I had a
Can
good
you
point.
please come? Can you? No,
Thought I had
you
a good
kinda
point
made a
considering
point, but
I
you-
didn't know what
no,
we were going to do
if
until now.
Pagel's going to sell this, is it on Armin's list? Armin's got to sell it. Armin sell it.
Let's bring
Could you
back,
wake up and bring something here? Come on, let's go.
wake up.
Energy.
What are you talking about? I'm here.
What's wrong with these numbers? You complain about everybody's numbers, but tell us what's wrong with them. Why are they not good? Why do they need to go back to the old way?
It just ain't right. All right. Kickers shouldn't be
Why?
wearing numbers in the 40s.
Why?
Running backs,
That's so wrong.
it's just sometimes the answer is it's just not right. Okay. Let me tell you something. It changes the perception of how we see these
I
guys.
held off there really good, and I'm very proud of myself.
Packers OT.
I'm glad I didn't save this for Wednesday.
Packers OT. Anyway, in Packers,
I've been thinking of segments for Wide Open
This is a
Wednesday.
good one.
All right,
This is
segment's
a good
over.
one. That's a perfect. What?
in Packers OT, you took
Molly,
a call.
come on.
In Packers OT, you took a call. Somebody said they thought Josh Jacobs ran too high. I'm convinced the only reason they said that is because it looked that way because he wore number 8. And number 8 is kind of a long, skinny number.
Yeah, he also
tall
said
number.
John. He also said Josh Jacobs ran too high, and then cited Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon as low runners. That maybe that's why he thought it was different. I'm like,
This isn't the
one of
college.
those things is not
This
like
is the
the other.
National Football League. I want my running backs in the 20s or 30s. I want my fullbacks in the 40s. I want my not all
No, United was
fullbacks.
going to have
Damn,
the fullbacks.
Armin.
Gone. John, throw those
You know
30
what?
jerseys
Turn
in the
his
garbage.
mic off. Let's take it to a break,
no,
Billy. Turn his mic off. Press the button on the board. It's time for us to get out.
We're back after this on 9 to noon.
Wait is.
9 to noon on the game. Malik Willis most likely starting for the Green Bay Packers on Sunday at the home opener at Lambeau Field, a noon kickoff. Colts lost their home opener 29-27 to the Houston Texans. Now, Anthony Richardson had a couple of big plays that they're going to have highlights of. John Armin, he was 9 of 19. Let's just keep that into the equation as well. But big physical kid, very interesting team coming in here because they are big. They'll run the ball. And that was maybe not what we wanted to see from the Green Bay Packers, of being able to get run on like Saquon Barkley did in the majority of the second half of the game on Friday night. 414-799-1973 on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line. Run game and other things a part of the conversation. We had the arborist say, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but LaFleur is just not the guy. The penalties, the time management, the lack of proper equipment, it all starts at the top. They completely boggled the quarterback spot. The kicking positions in camp this year, it's all rearing its ugly head. Cost them a game and now may cost them the season. John, that's the view from one Packers fan here today after they lose game 1 of the 2024 possible championship season.
Did we not say all throughout training camp about the backup quarterback position? If you lose Jordan Love, if you lose him, you need the season. If you lose him for the season, it's done. We said this. We said it from the beginning.
Throw that disclaimer in
we said it from the beginning of training. If you lose him for the season, it's done. If you lose him for 4 games, you got to find a way to win a couple. If you lose him for a week, or if you lose him for 2 drives because he needs to go in and get taped, you need to be able to find a way to get a first down or 2, right? Not fumble the ball away and then punt it, right? We talked about all the backup needs to do is steady the ship. And now steadying the ship over 4 weeks would mean win 1 or 2 games. 2 would be great. 1 would be at least keeping us with a heartbeat, right? You can't go 0-5. You can't go 0-5.
Right. That's obvious.
1 and 4 gives you a heartbeat. 2 and 3 would be like saving grace for Jordan Love to come back. So let's see what happens. We don't know what Matt LaFleur has in store yet for Malik Willis in this offense. I go back to
fan the flames, baby.
Or can Sean Clifford go in there now, because this is earlier than you expected to have to go to a backup quarterback. We don't know what the plans were. I would think very clearly that, Malik Willis has a certain set of athletic traits that you can at least work around.
Certain set of skills.
I do.
Certain set of skills.
Yes.
That some might find very, very good. Some might be very, very bad for a team coming into Lambeau Field. I fan the Flames. I'm a fan of the young man from Liberty. I want to see them give him an opportunity to go and play. Now, he has not scored a touchdown, thrown a touchdown pass in his 10 games, 3 starts in the NFL. However, Goody said, liking the things from the pocket. Let's get Tom Clements 2 weeks. He's going to have 2 weeks with his hands on him, be able to game plan some things up here, John, and you could be able to tell me this and correct me if I'm wrong here. I heard a large portion of it, and I understand you're not going to have the full gauntlet of plays at your disposal going into the game. You wouldn't, though, with Sean Clifford, correct? Yes, he may know all the calls. He may know everything in your playbook.
But you're not going to call him.
But you're not calling everything in there. You're going with a smaller, conservative, concise plan.
It's going to be changed. It's going to be changed.
So it'll be changed and altered either way.
Yeah, and you're gonna see in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
To set an offense for that backup's skills. Right. When Matt Flynn was in there, we didn't try and do what Aaron Rodgers did. We actually ran a more conservative West Coast offense, more consistent West Coast offense when Matt Flynn was it. Did I say that the first time too? When Matt Flynn was
the first time.
So we will see what they create. I expect to see some gadget plays, a lot more jet sweeps, maybe another end around to Jaden Reed here or there. Maybe Emmanuel Wilson gets in the ball game a little bit more.
He was a spark
with Josh Jacobs. Yeah. I mean, there are things that you can't do, but then you also got to play good defense. And then, people say, Kuhn, you didn't answer the question. This was about Matt LaFleur dropping the ball down there and the penalties and the losing. And we should be up. We should be 1-0. Yeah, the Packers played for a lot of that ball game Friday night good enough to win. But they also played good enough to lose or bad enough to lose.
Yeah.
The penalties we mentioned, Is that coaching? Sometimes we look at coaches and blame it. If it's a long-term problem, it's one game so far. Were the guys holding? Yes. Were there a couple bad calls? Yes. I don't know why we subbed the tight end on third down when we were running hurry up. I cannot believe in my life that a coach sent him in.
Yeah.
I believe that was just we're used to substituting in this manner, so we substitute. I don't know why they did that. That was a touchdown. That's not on the coach. That's on a player. Or maybe a coach was on the sideline and said, hey, you go for him and didn't realize they were running hurry up. We don't know exactly where these mistakes are made. I know the mistakes, but Edgerrin Cooper, was he on the wrong side of the line of scrimmage when Saquon ran, straight up the field for a touchdown? I believe it was him that was out of position.
Mm-hmm.
Was he told to stand? Was he told to go to that side based off of a call made by Isaiah McDuffie? I don't know, but I just know where the error is.
Coach LaFleur did make mention that the staff wasn't where it needed to be even during the game. I thought that's what he was referring to.
Got to be better. It starts with myself.
Yeah, and it starts with our staff. He said, frankly, our staff wasn't where we needed to be, as well as the players.
I mean, I can fully and I can understand. Hey, if you're a tight end standing on the sideline, he goes, hey, Tucker, go in for Luke, and now you're running in, and Luke's running off, but they're trying to run a hurry up because that was clearly what they wanted to do, keep Philly in their base D on third down. They did it the first drive and a half. I don't know why they decided to sub on that down. It was odd. It was weird. And it ended up costing them a touchdown.
Yeah, we put it into the competition committee next year. If both teams have 12 on the field, play stands. I think somebody needs to write that into the competition.
Can we say the refs messed that up too? Because guess what? When you're on offense and one person runs past the numbers, guess what you have to do? You have to stand at the center and not let them snap the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I blame the refs on that. If they just stood there, let the substitutions take place, I believe we still scored that touchdown.
Yeah, and Jaden Reed would have had a hat trick, and it wouldn't have just been Saquon Barkley sitting here with a hat trick on a Monday.
How good was he? I know we're gonna get to a break. I just want to mention we've had great response in the text line.
To a break,
but we've also had great response today on YouTube and X. Almost 500 viewers right now. We get a lot of comments. We'll get to those guys as well. Don't want you guys to think you're forgotten about. We see you on there. So
I was gonna get to that.
Well, I just wanted to pop it in.
But I'm glad you mentioned it, Armin, that you can now not only watch this show on YouTube, but also on X.
And they're doing it today.
And they're on there.
Yeah.
A little different group, little different cast of characters than Cheesehead and Packer fans. But 414-799-1973. Reaction continues. Also, week 2 of You Better You Bet continues. Coons can't miss in hour number 3. Fully loaded, lot to get to. We got to get it going. So let's take a break right here on 9 to noon. Stay wide on the game. 9 to noon on the game. Hanging out with all of you statewide, also on YouTube and X. Thanks for streaming the show. Hour 3 features a Coons Can't Miss back from Brazil. Comes up in about 10, 15 minutes from right now when we step into the Potawatomi Sportsbook. We'll do that as well with You Better You Bet, as well as we usually do here in the NFL season every single day at the 11 o'clock hour. But still talking 34-29 Packers L in Brazil to the Philadelphia Eagles, and that's where Tony in Oak Creek on the NicoletLaw.com talking text line wants to react to. Tony, you're up on 9 to noon.
Gentlemen, happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you.
So, Tennessee, Will Levis was horrible yesterday.
That he was, yeah.
His backup is Mason Rudolph, who is horrible in Pittsburgh. Now, you're telling me this Malik Willis, who couldn't beat out Mason Rudolph, who couldn't beat out Will Levis, is going to sustain the Packers for 3 to 4 weeks? No way. If I'm the Packers, you got to go out and just convince Tannehill to come back and stick around for 4 weeks and maybe just bump, Willis or the other guy to third string. There's no way. I mean, Will Levis was horrible. He made
sure.
That
was
bad.
He's also a second round pick, so that wasn't a real competition between him and Mason Rudolph. So there's no beating out. Mason Rudolph also did lead the Steelers to 3 wins to close out the 2023 season. Like there is some,
and he couldn't stick around in Pittsburgh.
Right? Because they weren't going to make him the starting quarterback. Like I get that part of it. I appreciate it, Tony. There's something to it. Like John, there's not every competition is created equal. Malik Willis was drafted by the previous regime, the one that got fired 8 games into his NFL career, and then Mike Vrabel, who was the head coach when he got drafted, promptly fired at the end of the year. Like, so there's a lot there. It's been a zero-sum situation for Malik Willis. He also was a part of a quarterback class that the top 3 guys are all on different teams. Desmond Ridder, 3 teams now after he gets released by the Atlanta Falcons. He was the second quarterback taken. Kenny Pickett was the backup for the Philadelphia Eagles on Friday night, because he threw a hissy fit when he didn't get the job and they brought in Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. So they traded him to Philadelphia. So everybody in that group is up in the air. But to say just because, Mason Rudolph is the backup in Tennessee, Malik Willis stinks. I understand the logic. I just don't think it's a fair, even comparison.
And not teams are created equal, right? Tennessee could be fumbling the bag and the Packers could have the coaching staff to be able to make it worthwhile. There are reasons why people don't work on some teams but work on others, right? Josh Johnson has been on like 13 or 14 NFL teams, and he's been serviceable on those teams. Tennessee, if they didn't use Malik Willis right, or just needed to go, we don't know why Malik Willis was traded from Tennessee. If he isn't going to start because Will Levis is the starter, and if you're saying that he stinks because he couldn't beat out Will Levis, well, he couldn't beat out Will Levis on the Titans, right? The Packers coaches have him now. The Packers coaches are developing him now. And it's not necessarily just the quarterback that wins these football games. It's the quarterback and the rest of the team. You can win football games with a backup.
Yeah.
But this is going to be now a very trying time for Matt LaFleur. There's going to be a lot more on the plate of every single other player on this football team. And I can tell you, with these young guys, they're going to want that. They're going to embrace that. There was something about that year that Aaron Rodgers was out that we had to steady the ship, that we went 2-5-1 during 2-5-1. That's what we did when Aaron Rodgers was out. And that was good enough to keep us alive and get us to the end so that Aaron could come back and help us win the division. 2-5-1. We need something like that. And I'm telling you, during that period, it felt good to have more responsibility. We embraced that responsibility. Josh Jacobs going to love more carries in a football game. The offensive line's going to love being able to say, hey, the burden's on us to go out there and push the line around. The wide receivers are going to love maybe not having somebody else throw them other than Jordan Love and his ridiculous but they're going to love the, hey, we have to win them one-on-ones now. Because guess what? There's a safety in the box. They don't have 2 shell. Did you guys see the passing stats around the NFL this week? By the way, Take a look at the passing stats around the NFL this week. Take a look at the passing touchdowns around the NFL week 1 compared to previous years. That cover 2 shell that got created a few years ago because of mostly Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes is here and here to stay. And it's stifling offenses right now if you can't run the football. Well, guess what? Now teams with bad quarterbacks get safeties in the box. So it gets one-on-ones for the receivers outside. Take a look at the passing stats around the league this weekend. You'll be shocked to see the yardage. You'll be shocked to see the touchdowns. The passing defenses are different now because mostly they say, go ahead and run the football. We're going to keep the big plays out of the system here. Well, now with Jordan Love down, I imagine there's going to be a safety in the box. I imagine you're going to get one-on-ones. We're going to run the football. We're going to run the football. And then we're going to take some deep shots with Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed. And if Malik Willis can hit them, because I feel confident they'll be open, we're going to have a chance.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see Malik Willis do it. And to John's point on the passing stats, only 2 guys go on the Sunday for 300 passing yards, and only Baker Mayfield and Derek Carr go for more than 2 touchdowns. Baker for 4 of them things yesterday against the Washington Commanders, and Derek Carr threw 3 touchdowns in maybe the worst game of the weekend, but shouldn't have been the most surprising game of the weekend. That was a 4-point number for the New Orleans Saints, and I'm stunned that more people weren't all over the New Orleans Saints against the Carolina Panthers, but we were sipping that Kool-Aid that maybe Dave Tepper was throwing on people there out of his booth at Caesars Superdome. I can't even imagine how mad that guy was. Like, we're going to fire this guy too.
I'm assuming you smashed that then on your picks for You Better You Bet.
You missed that one too? Did not. No, I lost. Yeah, I was not a good. It was not a great week. It was not. It was not a winning week. We'll get all of those coming up. But before we do that, we go to the next week and we already have the music on.
Better you bet. Bad timing.
You better.
You better. You better. You bet.
You better bet that even though the host fumbles the bag, doesn't ask for the caller right away, because we're going to clear the phone lines, talk some people, talk some Packers football, then get into You Better You Bet. Nooners are like, hold my whatever you're drinking in the morning. Coffee, chocolate milk,
mayo,
little
coffee,
rum
the
chata.
mayo.
The rum chata.
You drink
Coors
rum
Light.
chata in the morning. Nice.
Bourbon cream.
Yeah. There's
That's
plenty
the
of
one to
people
go to.
enjoying it. Yeah,
Mhm.
plenty of people maybe enjoying whatever they are. They already know that 11 a.m. means that You Better You Bet during the football season is happening. So that's where Tristan in Wausau dialed up, 414-799-1973. And he is our contestant today on You Better You Bet. Tristan, week 2, don't even think about Niners and Jets coming up here tonight. Your picks for next week. What's our first one?
All right. First one is going to be the Chargers -6 against those awful Panthers.
Yeah, Chargers on the road now, cross-country road trip going from LA to Carolina.
Good point.
Home opener for Bryce Young and company in Carolina. Jim Harbaugh had him doing it last night. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. He's got another group doing it, and he's got another group that's now 1-0 in the LA Chargers.
I always wonder about that when a coach has a shtick, has a thing, and it's pretty cool with one team. Do you take it to the next team, or do you create a new shtick, a new thing, a new slogan, a new tag? I mean, is Michigan doing that?
That I don't know.
I mean, wouldn't you keep it if you
They're
were
not
Michigan?
celebrating anything after this weekend.
Yeah, don't think
I
so
know,
either.
but wouldn't you keep that? So my point is that,
Yeah.
that thing was hitting at Michigan. They love doing that. Do the players still do that there? And now do we have 2 programs doing the same thing? And then who's copying who? Is Harbaugh copying, or are the players copying?
I think every coach wants to bring in his own identity, his own catchphrases. And that, at least that's what it seemed being like
But
a
if you
college
have a
basketball fan.
But if you have a catchphrase that you use with one team, do you take that to the next one?
Well, I mean,
Like Luke
both.
Fickle does. Luke Fickle's
Fickle
got team on the back of his vest that he rocks for game days. He's rocked that same thing when he became the head coach at Ohio State and at Cincinnati and at Wisconsin. Now, I don't know that it goes through all the full team, but yeah, row the boat, Sky Yuma.
Right.
I mean, goodness gracious, he was diving into the sea of Gopher fans here tonight.
Now,
or this weekend.
when he was at Marquette, Wojo had win every day. Now, unfortunately, that didn't work out, and it didn't work out anywhere else.
They didn't win hardly enough.
So I don't know where he went.
No.
And I don't think he
They
brought
won
that
all the
with him.
They won a lot of recruiting days.
All the time. We were very
A lot of
excited in the
recruiting
summer.
days, yeah.
That was the best time to be a fan of Marquette in the summer.
Not when the games
In
were
the
being
summer.
played.
Yeah, we won summers, baby.
That was a tough existence. All right, Tristan, sorry to keep you holding here during these illustrious picks. Let's go to pick number
Story
2.
time.
All right, I'm going to go with the well-paid Dallas Cowboys minus 6.5 against the Saints.
Yeah, very well paid. 6.5 at home. Saints, is that a wagon? Are we looking at a team that is just going to beat the brakes off everybody with Alvin Kamara in a contract year?
That's a lot of wood, though.
Listen, I loved watching what the Saints did against Carolina at home. I can imagine the parties in the Superdome were absolutely amazing. The hype and the hopes and everything of going 1-0 in your own place. What a great way to do it too, with that 30-0 halftime score. I think it was.
Yeah,
that was cool. Are they a wagon? No, I sadly, I don't think they are. I think the Cowboys are the wagon here in this game.
You don't think Alvin Kamara's going to go for like 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and have himself like a Christmas Day game? What did he score? 6 touchdowns against the
I'm
Vikings that time?
Listen,
that was fun.
I'm worried for Derek Carr's health after watching Micah Parsons get 8 quarterback hits on Deshaun Watson yesterday. 8.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson. Yikes. I mean, that is an experience to witness. Goodness gracious.
Man, I know. No doubt about it. All right. What's your third pick, Tristan? Sorry, we got it.
All right, I'm going to go sight unseen. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers is going to make it to game 2. Let's go Jets minus 4.5.
Another favorite, Jets minus 4.5. And we don't even know how they look yet. So that shows some confidence by you, which I'm impressed with.
No, only confidence in Aaron Rodgers. The rest of the team can stink. He said, hopefully Aaron makes it to game 2, and then he's taking the Jets minus 4.
I predicted them to win the AFC East when you were gone, John. So, I mean, you never know. I mean, let's see it happen. But 3 favorites in a row. There's some wood early for
you picked them
Tristan
to win the AFC East.
I did. That was kind of my bold.
Yeah, we realized that his homework assignment forgot to check it in on Tuesday, so we got him thrown through.
Thanks. We stalled long enough. My can't miss pick just closed, so I can't pick that one.
No, sucks to suck. We're gonna have to find another one. Let's go to pick number 3, Tristan.
All right, I'm finally going to take a dog, and I'm going to go with the Buccaneers minus 6.5 against Detroit.
Catching 6.5 rematch of the second playoff game that was in Detroit last week. Last night was the rematch of the wild card game. Next week will be the rematch of the divisional round game against the Dogs and the Bucks. But Baker with 4 TDs, John, that's a heck of a team coming in there with the outside game of Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Both still really, really good at football.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, here's the deal too, right? Baker was once casted away as some sort of scrub career backup. And guess what he did? He went to LA, he played for a game or 2, and now look at him. He's thriving. Ryan Tannehill, take notes now.
Okay.
Take notes.
I don't know if it's the same.
Malik Willis, take notes. Malik Willis.
Willis, both of them. Take notes.
Malik Willis.
Any backup quarterback willing to play for the Packers, take notes.
Yes.
Take notes.
Take some notes.
Matt Flynn got a contract. He didn't become the starter eventually because Russell became Russell, but he still got some money.
Yeah, he did. And that check still cashes. No doubt about it. Or money order ended up hitting the bank. All right, Tristan, what's your next one?
All right, I'm going to change up my last pick.
Whoa.
I'm sick of hearing all this Packer nonsense. We're going 3-1. We have playmakers, read option. Let's go Packers plus 3.5.
Oh,
catching
like
the 3.5.
I like this.
Taking the pack. There's going to be so much that we're going to talk about this game in the lead up for it. Most importantly, John, going to have to stop the run because we'll talk about Anthony Richardson, but Jonathan Taylor is still back there, and that is a big deal.
Mm-hmm. And I love points for a home team. I love catching points as a home team. I don't love 3.5 with a backup quarterback starting potentially after 14 days, 15, 16, 17, 2 weeks.
There we
you know
go.
what?
If we're flames, baby.
If we're running the read option,
flames.
let's bleep and go. I am down for some sort. Remember, hey, when Matt Flynn came in, we were running all kinds of crazy stuff.
All kinds of stuff. I remember Brett Hundley doing it. And not only that, Tristan predicted 3-1. I like that confidence right there. All right, what's your lock, Tristan? I didn't need the lock.
The Chargers are going to be my lock.
Chargers, all right.
There you
Locking
go. Now
in
you're dropping
Harbaugh's
some
Chargers.
wood. Who has it better than Tristan? There you go. Now you're dropping some wood.
Nobody. Laying 6 on the road against the Carolina Panthers. That is it. Tristan, appreciate it, man. Check in next Tuesday and see how you did for week 2.
All right. Thank you, boys.
There you
now
go.
you're dropping some wood. It's been the week of the wood.
There you go. The week of the wood.
Week of the Wood. All right. That is brought to you by Carnivore, Milwaukee's premier steakhouse for over 15 years. Go to Carnivore. Check out some of Omar's beautiful wine cellar selection or grab some steak or anything else that they end up serving because they serve all sorts of meat there.
A lot
as well.
of good stuff.
And bone marrow, which you ended up being able to have. Yes. All right. Now let's go to Potawatomi Sports Book, where they also serve stuff like the John Kuhn dog.
Yeah, what you do is you go down to Carnivore, you fill up on a big old meal, and then you head over to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook tonight for the Monday night football game, and you can check it out on a 2,000 square foot curved LED screen while you sit in lavish luxury, either a leather recliner or leather couch, kick your feet up on the tables, maybe get some bottle service. I don't know, maybe you're into something different, and then get yourself a late night snack. The wings Billy loves. I love the Coon dog. Armin still's got to take Leon down there to get that thing. I want to go with you guys, though. I'd love to sit there and chop it up with Leon.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Tell him I don't mean to pick on this kid. It's just too damn easy. But I could do that down at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook in style and comfort, because that's what there is down there. By the way, before we go forward, let's go back. We had Nebraska covering 7 against the Buffaloes as our can't miss from Friday. That came through.
Easy
that
win.
Rang the bell.
Yep.
Very easy. All kinds of shambles going on in Colorado right now. But that means what? 5 winning weeks in a row, Armin? They said we were struggling.
2-3
they
last
said
week.
we were dead. And now we're back.
3-2. I mean, sorry. You were 3-2 last week. You did have a winning week. I said that wrong. Yes. Way to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I didn't get that wrong. Okay.
Very appreciated. I thought we went 3-1, but 3-2, that's still a winning week anyways. I didn't think we had a show on Labor Day.
Oh, you know
but
what?
that's okay.
I guess technically you're right. It would have been 3-1 because that last pick would have been Friday. So, yeah, that's right. LSU. So you were 3-1. That's correct.
So that's how we do. And that's how we did last week. So let's get back off to a winning way. Okay. We're going to do this. How about I talk about all the passing stats and how they were so low? 236.5. That's the number to beat. That's the 50-50 number. Minus 114 to go over, minus 114 to go under for Aaron Charles Rodgers tonight. I think he's going to go under. I think the trend of this NFL in week 1 was the cover 2, make teams run the football. Oh, guess what? The Jets have a good running back. They want to run the football with Breece Hall. I think they are going to run the football with Breece Hall, because that's what you have to do when you roll into Santa Clara. You got to be able to punch the punchers in the mouth. Aaron Rodgers under 236.5 tonight. That's our pick for the can't miss.
There you have it. Aaron Rodgers under 236.5 passing yards. Interesting. Well, if he hears that, John, I'm sure he'll try and go over just to spite you.
Just to spite John. Yeah, not because he wants to look good in his first full game in 2 years. He wants to spite John Kuhn, who said, "You're not going to hit your over." Bet. All right, sweet. All right, I'm going to go off for 300. I'll show you guys exactly what I'm about.
Interesting. Johnny boy taking the under. Okay.
Interesting.
All right, Johnny.
Interesting.
That's what he's going to say.
Real media guy now, John. Huh?
Yeah.
Real media guy now. All right,
I think it's going to be a lot of
414-799-1973.
short, quick passes, to be honest with you.
And Garrett Wilson pops like 2 or 3 of them things.
And he could.
Need it.
Garrett Wilson could ruin my pick. Single-handedly ruin my pick. But we'll see.
Love watching Garrett Wilson. Can watch that all day long. Going to be a lot of fun here tonight, as that one has already moved. It was at 5.5 when it opened, 4 earlier. Some places got it at 3.5 as well, with the Jets and 49ers coming up tonight from Santa Clara. More coming up on 9 to noon. We'll hit and clean up all of this reaction on the NicolateLaw.com talk and text line. Open it back up for the talk version as well. And as some people have said, we haven't done the patented John Kuhn birthday celebration. So that comes up as well, 9 to noon on the game.
Birthday, it's September, you are aging like a wine, and if your day is on the 9th, you have the most popular of all time. You were cooking since December, you were made at Christmas time, and like Frosty, you were molded and thrust into sentient life. Happy birthday, it's September, you're the product of Christmas fucking. Happy birthday, it's September. You were stuffed into a stocking.
There we go.
That's it,
It's
right?
a happy birthday to our September guy. It's our September birthday here on 9 to noon, and it's always a special one. Even on a Monday after a Packers game, which happened on Friday. So there's plenty of time to digest, plenty of time to celebrate all yesterday, digest, go back, watch the film. We've been ripping all of that through. It's time to do a John Kuhn birthday celebration like you guys generally do here on 9 to noon.
Yeah, people know we don't accept gifts. Well, we'll accept gifts, but on our birthdays, we give the gifts, and it's time to give away a signed jersey, Armin.
All
and
right,
how do
let's
we
go.
normally do that?
We do different things. We do trivia, right, John? We
Yeah.
mix it up.
Yeah,
You know,
what do you want? You got some trivia ready?
I don't have one ready, but we could do one.
Did you forget that it was John's birthday today?
I know. I knew it was
Did
John's
you
birthday.
forget?
Oh,
I
didn't have it ready, huh?
Nope.
Oh, you don't have.
We didn't have a plan.
This
We
is the
didn't have
bit.
a plan.
Well, we have a bit. And it's a regular
Okay.
bit. We've done it for 5 years
Yeah.
together now.
Yeah.
What's the bit?
I
John
think,
gives away a jersey on his
I
birthday.
think you give away something on your birthday. Do we have
Yeah,
a
I
bit?
got the jersey. It's right here.
Great.
I'm ready to give it away.
Great.
Now we got to.
Well, you do have those
What was
trivia
the, what's
questions.
the other bit? The John Kuhn trivia?
Isn't that what we do?
Isn't that how you give away the? Isn't that how you give away the?
Be honest, I can't remember. I'll be honest with you.
Aren't we
I
doing
can't
it?
remember.
Well,
what we did.
now here's the thing. So it could be John Kuhn trivia that Armin could scrap up and
No, I
throw
got
something
some.
here together.
I don't even need
Oh,
to
he's
scrap
got no.
it up.
He's. I'm sure there was a what does Billy or Butch know somewhere along the lines.
Well, that's where I was going to go. I mean,
Yeah.
because Armin was very, very excited, very,
Get on the
very
P drive.
proud to say that John, because Thursday when you were gone was the return of What Does Billy Know?
Yeah, it was.
Thanks to Tappan Golf Bar in Waukesha in Sussex.
How was that? How'd that go?
It was fun. It was good.
Got
8
8.
out of 10 for your boy.
Oh, but nice. What was the topic?
It was
It
Brazil
was Brazil, yeah.
and
Oh,
very elementary.
elementary Brazil. stuff.
However, Armin was very excited to talk about the one group of questions that he had about maybe his favorite topic outside of the world of sports here on September 9th of 2024. Hawk to a girl.
I was, yeah, but I had to scrap those questions because I felt like for the first one, Brazil should be the one.
So he scrapped that. So, I mean, we have a bunch of Hawk to a girl questions if we'd like to go there, or we could try to find a good one for the birthday boy, John Kuhn.
I think Armin's scrambling, but yeah,
No, I
we're
got
trying to find-
questions.
Okay,
I
we
got questions in my head already. So
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
Fact checked?
let's grab a caller.
Okay.
Let's bring him on.
There
and
we
let's
go.
have Armin trivia.
This is awesome. He's going to trivia these people right
just
away.
screen a
live.
couple here,
Yeah,
guys.
Okay, screen a couple. Get them ready to
Screen
go.
away. Get your
them
screen
lined
on.
up.
Get
Yeah,
your
we
screen
got you.
on.
We'll
Look
get
at
your
him.
screen on. John,
I love it.
it's fantastic. isn't
Armin
it?
loves us and he hates us. He's
No,
like, I
it's
never
all
know.
good. It's all good. Let's just roll with it. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
I
we're,
don't
oh,
hate
no,
anybody.
we're rolling with
Hey,
it. We're
we're having
okay.
a good
Yeah.
time.
Armin,
No,
Armin, be
we
a
need
duck.
to- we need to
Be a
just-
duck on my birthday. It's the
We're-
most popular
quack.
birthday in the world.
Quack like a duck. Quack like a duck. That's what we do. We need a little distraction on your birthday. No doubt about it. Okay. I know. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, as we sit here with over 500 people watching us on YouTube and on X, listening to us on the Game Radio Network, also on the iHeartRadio app, plenty of different ways that you can get with the program here on John Kuhn's birthday to make sure that you have your chance to win a signed John Kuhn jersey. Now, John, I don't believe your collection of Kuhn jerseys is similar to this one that we got on the NicolaLaw.com talking text line from V3 in Sherwood, where he said, sent the picture of all the Washington Commanders, formerly the Washington Redskins, and football team uniforms in there. Nothing that looks that long of a laundry list, but I got to assume you got some good ones hanging out there down in the basement that we're able to dig on up here, as well as some beautiful new ones because you got to get the Nike version.
Yeah, we got some good stuff.
That's
we got
awesome.
some good stuff that I'm just going to end up giving away. It's still sitting in that closet. I told Armin, Billy, I got all this collection of really cool stuff over 13 years in the league.
Yeah,
It all just sits in a closet. I don't even have it
just
displayed.
hangs out.
No, I'm just, I don't know. I don't know if I really have, every time I have a space,
Yes.
that space gets infiltrated and taken.
That's what happens. That's
You
the way
know,
it goes. Craft room.
I had a man room and now it's the bonus room. For the kids.
Mhm.
They just play up there. You
Yep.
know, I mean, they have a good time. I used to have a pool table. now Grammy has a pool table. You know what I mean? I used to have a gym. Now we have a room where all the pool stuff gets stored.
Now
It's
you
like,
have a very expensive clothes hanging rack.
pretty much.
That's why that goes. All right, now we're just going to take a caller and answer the first question right. First one to get one right. Is that how that works?
First one to start with the hardest question first.
Okay, I got the hardest one, I think.
We can stretch this. We can make that's how you do this thing, Armin. You act like we've never done this before.
We got
This is our 5th year in a row.
And we're okay. We
think we're ready for it. Yeah.
We ready for it? All right.
All
Our first
set.
caller is ready, as they are the first up here on the NicolaLaw.com talk and text line. And that caller's name is what,
It's
Armin?
Dan in West Bend, right, Dan? Is this you, right? I believe.
It's me.
Way to go, Dan.
All right,
You got in
West
there
Bend.
early
you
and
go.
often.
Early and often. First one in on the John Kuhn trivia for a birthday signed jersey.
All right. In college at Shippensburg, John was a Northeast region finalist for this award given to the top player in NCAA Division II. What is the award for the top player in NCAA Division II? Dan.
Top player in Division II.
John, are you going to addendum to this or no?
5,
Okay.
4, 3, 2,
Well, who
1.
does number 2 work for trophy?
No, that's not it. Good
Not
See,
it.
Armin,
Good
you got to be
guess.
careful because some of these they can look up, so you have to have a time limit.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we gotta
two
be quicker.
explosions.
We got to get that shot clock going. Similar like how they do on the baseball postgame
right.
show. They
Good
don't
point.
let you sit there
No.
and conversate all that time with Tim Allen after a Brewers victory. You got to get to it. You got to get to your point and get the answer.
Okay.
Who's trying to answer that question here now on the
We're
talking
not
text
doing
line?
that one.
No,
'cause someone's
different
already
question.
looked up. Different
Anthony,
question.
I got Anthony in Saukville, right?
I didn't
Anthony,
know how many questions
playing
I
all the
actually
hits
got.
right
all
here.
the hits. Anthony, how's it going?
Oh, how you doing?
Fantastic.
Great to hear. All right, you ready for your question, Anthony?
I hope so.
All right, here's the
one autograph. I need another.
Oh, here we
awesome,
go. Okay.
awesome. All right, Kumas in college. Kumas selected to play in the 2005 Cactus Bowl as a Division II All-Star. Who was the sponsor that year for the Division II Cactus Bowl? The 2005 Cactus Bowl. What company is the sponsor?
We'll go with Tostinos.
Oh, that's a good guess.
What a great guess!
But it's incorrect.
Tostitos and Tostitos.
It
Both.
was-
Should
Could
we
be
give away?
options.
Should we give the answers to these?
I think we should because
I
it's
think we
kind of
should.
fun.
Okay, so top player in Division II, Harlan Hill. It's
Harlan
like
Hill, yeah.
It's their version of the Heisman. And then Whataburger.
Whataburger.
Whataburger Cactus Bowl.
Yes, the
Their
what?
spicy ketchup is just so good.
That's a good pull for a sponsor. They
Man.
got Whataburger.
Yeah, it is a good one.
And you know how much Whataburger we ate that week? We ate
All
that
of
was
it.
pretty much what we ate.
Yeah,
the whole week.
all of it. All right, caller number 3 here for the third question. Now, I don't know how many Armin's fully got here, so somebody's got to get one of these things
I
right.
believe I got Chris here, right?
Billy, we've already gone 3 hours of getting nothing right, and then we
Yeah.
just do a caller at the end.
Yeah,
I believe it's just Chris, right? You there?
sounded like it. Yeah,
You there, buddy? Okay.
Vince, V-I-N.
Vince, I'm sorry, Vince.
not
I got
Chris, not close, but Vince, what do you got?
you. All
Let's
right,
go.
Vince.
Get that answer.
All
Come
set
on,
to go?
Vince. Yes, he's ready.
All right,
Ask him
Vince.
the question.
What was
He's on.
John
He's
was
ready for
a-
the question.
John graduated Shippensburg, as we know. What was his degree and what was his major? You love this one, John.
That's an easy one.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Need a guess?
1.
Say it again.
Chemistry.
You got it right.
There
it
we
was.
go.
You got it.
Chemistry.
You got it.
Wow, that was
See,
correct.
deadline spur
Correct.
actions.
I thought he was honestly. I thought he was kind of going to get that one wrong. The clock was ticking there. Way to go. All right, John, is he a winner or we do more
He's the
questions?
winner.
He's
He's
the
the
winner.
winner.
Congratulations,
Well, we want
Vince.
now more
Well,
questions.
I don't
being
know. I
answered.
just want to
Okay,
make
no,
sure. I
Well, we do have something else that we can give one more away.
All right, Vince,
Let's
you're
get
our
one
first
more
winner.
away.
You won
Okay.
the jersey. Vince won the jersey.
won
All
the
right,
jersey.
hang on, Vince. Hang tight. We'll get your info. That was pretty good work right there.
There
That was
it
pretty
is.
good by work by Vince here.
All
All
right,
right.
next
Should, we
caller.
give, should we
Yep.
give away another jersey or should we do?
That's up to you, John.
Hey, your dime, your dance
should
floor,
we-
your
or
birthday.
Should we do the helmet? Should
Well, we
save the
got
helmet?
like let's say we got about 3 minutes left, so it's totally up to you. If you want to do another one,
I
John.
didn't answer the question.
can-
I think jersey. I like
Yeah,
All
let's,
jersey.
right,
do
we
another, let's do another jersey.
I like jersey.
Why not? This is we're feeling good today. We're feeling good. Today,
All right,
right?
caller on line number 4.
Okay, I got Brad here. Brad,
Brad.
you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Come on, Brad.
Brad, how
All
you
right,
doing?
I got
Come
one
on,
for
Brad.
John's got one.
Do you
John's
think you have
got
a good one, Armin?
No,
Look, I can
no,
tell
I
he's. I can
think
tell
you
he's.
got a good one.
Armin's list is
I
out.
think,
Armin,
I think
tapped.
you got a good one, John.
Armin ran the well dry. He is dry now.
His
All
next
right.
one was
No.
John Kuhn has a nice cabin. That is where?
No, I you know what? I was only through my college questions, but go ahead,
All
John.
right. So who are we? Who are we?
This
talking
is
to?
Brad.
Brad, how you doing,
Brad.
Brad?
I'm good. Thanks, guys.
Brad. Okay, here we go. Here's a question. What have I claimed on this show to be the worst job I've ever held.
I love
Worst
this
job I've ever held. What is it? Said it on
Hey,
the show
there's
at
music.
least 100 times. Are you new, Brad?
No, I'm not new.
Okay.
We have mentioned this a lot. Well, listen. Maybe it's sort of an insider deal, but this is funny one. I like this one.
Come on now. Come on, Brad.
5.
A lot of confidence.
Do you know jobs?
Ask me an Armin question.
3.
It's not his birthday.
Laundry.
Oh,
No, I mean that's.
did you work for a laundromat, John?
I did not work for a
Oh,
laundromat.
sorry,
In
buddy.
fact, that worst job was what, Armin?
Worst job was stacking FedEx, or was it UPS? Stacking
FedEx.
boxes for FedEx.
Mm-hmm. Unloading FedEx trucks. Yes, by far the worst
That is
job
the
I've ever
worst.
had. Which is why I appreciate the people from FedEx, the truck drivers, the people that unload the trucks, the people that run
Have
up
to.
and down the line yelling at the people who unload the trucks, and probably why Armin hates them because he's never gone through it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have a full understanding and appreciation for the
Clearly.
labor of love that those people do. All right, caller
We got Greg now.
Greg.
Yeah.
up here to answer a question from John Kuhn on his birthday for a chance to win a signed jersey. Greg,
Greg, where are you from?
Greg and Franklin Kuhn.
here we go,
Okay.
Greg. Come
Here
on
we
now.
go,
Get a
Greg
winner.
and Franklin.
Get this wrong,
Sorry.
please. No, I'm just kidding.
He said,
I'm just kidding,
wrong.
Greg. I'm just kidding.
Lick me, Armin.
All
lick
right,
me.
nothing dirty here. All right, go ahead.
Greg, who was the opponent of my longest rush of my career?
Oh.
Ooh, that's tough. That's a tough one right there. I don't
Yeah, sure.
Or you can say what game it came in. If you don't know the team, you can say the game.
Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, good guess, but wrong.
That's
Wrong.
wrong. Yeah. Okay. I thought that was on you.
I had an 18-yard run against the Browns in Pittsburgh,
there we go.
and I had an 18-yard run against
Detroit?
the Bears
Oh, the Bears. Okay.
in Chicago.
Yeah.
Now
I
know,
also had a 32-yard run in the Pro Bowl, and if he would have said that game, I would have given him the answer correct.
That
He had
doesn't
3
count.
chances.
I will say,
What do you mean it doesn't
Well,
count?
the Pro Bowl.
Did I do it or not?
Fine. You
yeah,
did.
come on,
You
Armin.
get credit. Okay.
Trying to take away this man's Pro Bowl run? What are you doing? All right. We got to get another caller here on the line and in the list because we're struggling to be able to do that all throughout simultaneously. That's a Googleable answer, right?
Oh yeah.
So Greg and Franklin may have dropped the ball on that one
It's the
because
first time we talked
we
to
were
him, though.
talking
I
back
was
and
getting
forth
ready to start
about it.
counting. Yeah.
Yeah, he was given some chances. He was given an opportunity to Google that one. Didn't do it. All right.
Brenton Franklin.
Brenton Franklin, come on now. Play the
Brent
hits.
and Franklin.
knew the Pro Bowl one.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Too bad it didn't count, but now, but
'Cause
that
you're
was
a
pretty
Packer fan.
awesome.
Brent and Franklin, how many times was I cut from a team in the NFL? How many times was I released?
You were cut from, let's see, you were released from the Steelers. You were released from the Packers. You were released after, I'm going to say 3.
No, that's
no,
not right.
not high enough.
Nope, not high enough. You
Nope,
gotta
not
reach
enough
higher, Brent.
scars.
And in fact, Brent, I was never released from the Packers. I was released 3 times by the Steelers and 2 times by the Saints.
Come on now, Brent. That's a total of 5.
That's good
As-
work, John.
That
Yeah.
is, hey, a lot of scars to make sure that the adversity continues to fire through, and then you can get some diamonds forged through that fire. Let's go to caller number 2 here for the chance to win the jersey.
All right, this is Ryan. Now, do you have one, John? Because I got one. It's kind of
is it
Armin
good?
cooked one up.
I think it's good, but it's a 50-50. It's a little bit of a better chance.
We're not doing
Okay,
50-50.
then I'll change it up.
Okay,
Then I'll
not
change
yet,
it up.
not yet.
All
Ryan, where's Ryan from? Ryan, where are you from?
I'm from Waukesha.
Come on, Ryan.
Okay,
Let's go,
Ryan in
Ryan.
Waukesha.
All right, your question, John.
While I was at school at Shippensburg with my chemistry major, I interned over the summer at 2 pretty well-known places. Name one of the 2.
iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
I would have loved if John was an intern here. Oh my gosh.
5,
Answer the
4,
phones, kid.
3,
WDF.
W.
DWF. Right.
DWF. The Dallas Fort Worth. I worked at the airport. No, did not work at the
Yeah.
airport.
No.
Nope,
All right.
close. Yeah, I knew what you were going with some initials there. I did Department of Environmental Protection
Oh, that's right.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
and Johnson & Johnson.
I was thinking he was trying to say Disney World. And I'm like, I could see John being one of the gatekeepers sitting there like, are you this tall enough Saw him throw the ride.
That'd be great.
Sorry, you're not
in
going to
one of those Steve Irwin outfits. You
Oh,
know
that'd
what
be
I mean?
awesome. R.I.P. Steve Irwin, 25 years ago.
I know.
think,
He was an
just a couple
amazing
days
man.
ago. 15 years. Man, that's the worst.
All right, we
Who's
got
next,
Bricky.
Armin?
We got one more here.
Bricky.
All right,
Bricky,
Bricky.
come on, Bricky.
Last chance
End
before
our
a break,
misery.
Bricky.
Come on.
Last chance before a break. Are you ready for this one, Bricky?
I'm ready as I'm ever going to be here.
It didn't sound all that confident. But
Growing up in York County, Pennsylvania, I attended Dover High School. Tell me Dover's mascot.
Ooh.
Oh,
5.
let's
4.
go with the Beavers.
The Beavers.
That'd have been awesome.
What
Actually,
a
it
great,
makes-
That'd
it
have
what a
been
makes-
great,
awesome.
what a great call. We were not. We were
No.
not. Do you know what we were?
The Doves?
The
We were the
different
Eagles.
different flying animal. You know, the beavers are actually not a bad. I mean, think about it. You know, it is Pennsylvania.
Slapping the tail. Yeah.
I mean,
That'd
you,
have been fun.
there's mining and there's mountains
Think about all the cool stuff you could do as a beaver. You could, slap the tail. You could,
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you
414-799.
I don't know what else beavers do. We can build a dam.
We got a lot of things that they could do. We have a commercial break to go through them
I think we
and a
should do
commercial
that.
break to try to get 1 to 2 more opportunities
Yeah.
for somebody to win this last John Kuhn birthday jersey before 9 noon seeds and hands it off to the Mike Keller show coming up at noon because it's already running through hour number 3, the 11 o'clock hour, which is always our best one yet. We're back after this on the game. 9 to noon, round and third, heading for home, but also trying to send you something home and send you home with a John Kuhn autographed birthday edition jersey here on 9 to noon. What do you know about John Kuhn? Now, we've lined up a couple of answers here about the birthday boy. Couple of questions. We'll see if we have the right answers. Armin Sarian thinks, John, that he's got a winner, that he's got a hot, spicy victory one for somebody, or it's a victory for him because he looks really good and stumps the Schwab. All right, so let's hear this thing.
Well, first of all, we do have Tony. All right, he's our next contestant.
Correct.
I'm gonna let John ask it because he said the way he asks it's gonna be better. So I'm gonna let you ask the question, John.
So Tony,
because I don't want to mess it up.
Which Tony is it?
Tony, where are you calling from?
McWanago.
McWanago. Okay.
Tony and McWanago. Okay, here we go. Tony. When I was the first time I was released from the Pittsburgh Steelers, I signed a contract with an Arena League team. And I was just about to head out there to start training camp before I was brought back to Pittsburgh. Name that Arena League team.
Oh boy. You were selected. San Jose SaberCats?
Oh, he got it. Oh,
he got it.
Holy cow. I did not expect that.
Tony's Google fingers.
Yeah, Googling
quick, very quick.
Oh,
Good job,
really
Tony.
good.
And Tony, if you knew it, even better on you.
Huh?
I said, and if you knew that one by memory, even better.
Hey, I was going to say the Barnstormers, but I didn't think that was right.
That's Kurt Warner.
There it is. There it is.
You know, for a good period of time, Armin, and congratulations.
There you go, Tony.
Hang
Good
tight.
work.
Tony, hang tight.
Baby, Tony, hang tight.
Tony, you got to hang on to Armin's got to get your information because he likes to send out Christmas cards when Christmas comes around.
That's a whole different deal. Yeah, John, go ahead.
By the way, did you get started on that? It's a long process. You might want to.
Well, no, it's September. I didn't start on anything Christmas yet. No, we don't. I don't do that.
We should probably start
on December 15th.
Just design it, Armin. Just design it, and then we'll figure out a way to get them printed. And
well,
and
the
sent out.
design's going to take very long. You know, they give templates. It's still summer. I'm not messing with Christmas stuff yet. What were you going to say, John?
But
Sorry.
you don't want it to be November. If you're not proactive and you don't get on it now, I know what's going to happen. We're going to hit like right before Thanksgiving. And listen, you got a little one now, Armin.
I know. That's exactly
you're
right.
You're going to be a lot more
It's a lot
busy
busier.
around the holidays. So to be proactive on this
Busy.
and get this thing printed up for the holiday cards, me, you, Billy, 9 to noon,
Busy
noon a
now.
day, you know, put some good pictures on there, get that thing set up so that we can get them sent out.
We'll see if that happens.
We'll see
That
if
sounds like a big
Yeah,
fat
that's a no.
no, right?
That's a no.
Nooners, show your displeasure with Armin's
Yeah, do it.
lack of effort in these Christmas cards this year because we need to bring it back. But what I was going to say is San Jose SaberCats at one time was a dynasty. Well, they were a dynasty in the Arena League.
The Arena League had a peak. It was like 06, 07, 08, where they were getting TV deals. I think they were NBC for a while. People were interested in them. It was
I used to
exciting
watch
football.
the Chicago Rush. They had
The
a video
Rush.
game one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the Mustangs here in town.
It was working.
You know?
Then the Milwaukee Iron also
That's
in
right.
town
That's
for
right.
like 1 year, and their logo was sweet, dude. Awesome look. While we were doing that, Adam Schefter just joined the Pat McAfee show. Did say that he believes and expects to be shorter end. He then also throws out for the Jordan Love MCL sprain. He thinks that Jordan Love pushes for the Minnesota game as they return. Now, we are putting 3 to 4 weeks. That would, September 29th is when they take the field there. That would be 3 weeks after the diagnosis. So it would be the sharpest of the timelines, the quickest of them. However, a little bit better, a little bit more intriguing.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe it is only 2 games that we end up having Malik Willis or Sean Clifford or somebody else end up being the starting quarterback. That's our takeaway of the day, brought to you by Quick Trip. Need something for dinner tonight? Don't cook. Stop by your local Quick Trip. Pick up a freshly prepared, absolutely delicious take-home meal. You might even find we know Packers football is what you want to talk about, and Mike Heller has a lot more of it coming up here. After the timeout, we'll hand it off to Mike Heller for John Kuhn. Armin Sari, and I'm Billy Schmidt. We'll be better tomorrow somehow because today was a banner of a birthday edition of the 9 to noon radio program. Fun day. We'll try to be better tomorrow, 9 to noon on the Game.